everybody. Welcome back. YouTube.com/Geek.Aloud. It's Tuesday night at 8 p.m.-ish, and that's a really long-ish this evening. Of course, Steve is here on Discord. Steve, how are you, brother?
Mate, I'm very well, and just like G.E.A, good evening.
Oh, nice. I like it. Also, a good evening to Bully on Discord. How you doing, Bully?
I am doing fantastic. Very close to the 8-ish. Very close.
So close to the 8-ish.
Bully's bedtime, so let's do this.
It's also coincidentally very close to Bully's start time. But what I need to tell you, fine folks, first is the run of the show. Now, of course, we start off with, what do we start off with? Games, interrogation, deliberation. That's right. Myself, Steve, and Steve will go over all the games we've been playing, and believe me, it's a long list this evening because, of course, we had 2 weeks off. My apologies last week. I had the internet go out completely. I had to rerun a cable. It was all kinds of mess in here, but it's fixed now. And then segment 2 is the news segment. Once again, it's a bit bloated because, hey, we haven't been here for 2 weeks. And then segment 3, it's the standoff. And I've got to tell you, it's the best of the best of the best. And Steve, what can you tell us? Any more details?
Mate, it's the best of Bethesda. So tonight we've got the best Bethesda franchise. We're going to pick out of all of them. And then at the end of it, we're going to say which one of these games will we most like to see another one of the series of. Right now, if we can get it tomorrow, which one of these series do we want another one of? So that is later in the show, Troy.
I love it. Perfect. And then following the standoff, of course, once we've picked the winner from those candidates, we come to you in the audience. That's right. Everyone in the YouTube chat, bang your comments in as we go. And before we round them up and get right back to you. Thank you very much. So let's start. Games, interrogation, and deliberation. Of course, this evening we are looking at footage from the Quarry, and Unky Dunky himself has been playing it. Steve, what can you tell us?
Mate, I have. Let me just first say that tonight, unfortunately, yes, we're doing G.E.A, but my wife would have me playing this game in a heartbeat if that was her choice tonight. We have been playing this through together over sort of the last week or so and absolutely loving our time with it. It's taking us back to the Until Dawn days where we did the exact same thing, but absolutely falling in love with the characters, the setting. Obviously, you can see on the screen there, you got David Arquette there, so they're bringing back the big boys of horror, like from Scream. You've got a lot of well-known actors in there as well. You've got, I can't think of her name right now, Ariel Winter, Alex from Modern Family's in there. You've got Justice Smith, I believe his name is, from the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie. You've got a lot of the other guys that you recognise their faces in there as well, but the performances by all these guys are absolutely fantastic, which is playing a lot because this game is, it's less of a game and more so an interactive movie. So if you don't like, more story-based games and you want more gameplay with your game, then this is probably not the thing for you. But if you do like your supermassive games like your Until Dawns and the series of smaller games that are brought out, like the most recent one being House of Ashes, Little Hope, and I think Man of Medan. Mm-hmm. If you like those games, this is probably the best, I reckon, Supermassive's done so far. There's probably a little bit less interactivity than Until Dawn had, but I think it's probably telling a more sort of compelling story. The graphics are absolutely insane. I remember sort of a couple of weeks ago now we were talking about how good the facial animation was in LA Noire. This thing takes it to a whole new level. Granted, you don't have quite the gameplay stuff in it, but the facial animation and stuff in this is absolutely insane. I would love to see their technology sort of melded with a game more so with, gameplay to the forefront. But, what we've got in this is absolutely insane, especially when they're modelling real-life actors and stuff in this, and their facial captures are just so perfect that it just brings so much more to the game. And the fact that it is an interactive movie, you kind of want it to look that good. So I don't know if you guys got any questions for me in relation to the game at all?
Yes, mate. First one, and you may have said it already and I missed it. Which console are you on?
I'm playing on the Series X, Troy.
All right, I'll skip the question about the DualSense integration then, and I'll move on to the question about, as Colin Moriarty was telling everyone, apparently this was originally a Stadia game that was then ported over.
Yes.
Is that really obvious when playing it, or only if you know that factoid is it apparent?
The only thing I could say, the fact that it might have been Stadia, is the fact that it appears like it's running at 30 frames per second, which is not bad for a cinema kind of experience like this. The only thing I will say is that their other games do run at 60 frames per second now. I believe, I'm not sure about Men of Medan, but I know House of Ashes most recently played is running at 60, and I know Until Dawn, which I've got on the PS5 now, runs at 60 frames per second as well. So I know their games can do it. So whether that is a technological sort of mishap in relation to originally being on Stadia, that it is only running at 30 frames on the Series X, or it is the fact that the graphical quality of these characters and animations and stuff is so more advanced than what they've done previously is causing it to run at 30. We might get a patch down the track, but again, it's a smooth 30. Like, I'm not seeing really too many hitches here and there. There's some weird graphical glitches occasionally with hair and stuff like that, but it has received a couple of patches, I think, since launch, which has kept it running pretty smooth. But yeah, as I said, that's probably the only thing I can think that maybe sees it tied with Stadia originally.
And how many hours have you put in, and how far along do you know are you?
Hours, probably around maybe 7 to 8 hours in. I think we're at chapter 8.
And is that 8 of 8 or?
No, I thought there was 12 chapters, but recently I've been told or looked, and I think there's 10 chapters. So we're getting close to the end now. So probably either one more night or 2 more nights with the missus sitting down and playing this, and I think we'll have it done. But it's been such a ride. Like, with Until Dawn, it was more of a case of trying to get through the whole game and not having any of my characters die. This time we've just sort of been going through it and sort of making decisions on the fly and seeing what happens, and I've only had 2. I've had 2 of the 9 characters die at the moment. Or actually, no, I should say technically only 1, because there's some story stuff that makes me believe that maybe one of my characters may still be alive, but I've definitely had 1 die because she has had her head taken from her body. So there's no way she's coming back. But that was a decision where, like, I just thought I was making the right decision not to shoot someone and didn't shoot someone, and then something happened, and then it just happened. So it's kind of a cool experience. I think it's like I didn't really feel too bad about it because I'm like, this is kind of like a horror movie. I've made my choice and now I've got to lie in it. So it's good fun. I know when you finish go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, with the head coming off, that wasn't a baseball bat by any chance, was it?
It was not a baseball bat. No.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Bat. Yeah, that's right. It was more so the claws of something. That's one thing with this game. I think it does show its hand a little bit early with the main villains of the game, whereas Until Dawn sort of kept it back a little bit for a while and kept the mystery going. This thing does show its hand pretty early with what you're dealing with, but it's not really to a detriment to it. Like, it does sort of alleviate some of the pressure on you. So, you and Bully might be able to play this at the night time as opposed to the daytime. It's very enjoyable. The choices and decisions you make, though, really do have impact on the gameplay, which is what I really like. Like, you never know. Sometimes just not doing the action is probably better than doing the action itself. Like, even last night, I won't, for spoiler's sake, say too much, but normally you get the button mash prompt to smash A to keep yourself alive or whatever. So I did that, and a certain character got their face blown off by my shotgun. But I don't know if that was the right thing to do, because I had a premonition, which comes back to these tarot cards you can find that you take back to a lady at the end of each chapter, and you can pick which one you want to use if you've found one, and they'll show you a clip of sort of like what's going to happen and what to do, what not to do. And I hadn't had this clip shown to me, but you get a small blurb, and I read the blurb, and after reading the blurb, I'm like, maybe I probably shouldn't have smashed A in that instance. But I've made my bed, I've got to line it now, so we'll see where the story goes from then. But there is 186 endings to this game, allegedly.
And now, do you intend to see one or all 186?
No, definitely not all of the 186. I definitely will go back. I think once you finish the game, you unlock the ability to undo decisions you've made and go back in time. So I might replay it again, and there's decisions I've already made that I know I want to try differently, and we'll see how that goes.
Is there any chance if they implemented Forza? With Forza, the original ones, push and hold Y and it does the rewind thing?
Yeah, that's right. With those things, so it's similar to that. Is you get to the end of your decision, you can decide whether you want to go back, and I think you can do it 3 times within the whole story. So it would have been handy. I know if you bought the collector's edition at the start, you did get that option from the very start of the game.
Yep.
But obviously, I didn't. I like playing games purely for the way they're supposed to be played the first way through. So I'm happy to unlock that at the end of the game and see how I go. But I mean, I was just really happy as well. The accessibility options in the game as well. They give you plenty of options with your QTEs, how long you want to take and whether you even want to do them at all or whether you hold, whether you tap. So props to them for that, because a lot of the other games, they are very, twitch heavy, where you have to press very quickly. Even just playing House of Ashes tonight again, like, it does create a lot more tension with how quick you got to press those buttons. That being said, I haven't jumped into their accessibility options. I'm sure they're probably there.
Yeah.
But the only problem I find is you can't skip cutscenes. So any secondary playthroughs and stuff, I believe it might be a little bit tedious if you are running through cutscenes and stuff that you have seen before, and you just want to do that decision quickly. But I mean, it might make replayability a bit of a slog. But I mean, if you've got the patience and to match the curiosity, then I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it.
Nice one. So where would you rate the Quarry with the developers' other games? Is this the best? Like, are they just getting better and better, or is this maybe not their best?
No, I reckon this is probably the best they've done. I think so far, in terms of clarity of image, the performance by their characters and actors, the facial animation, the way they tell their story, I think it's the best game they've made. I can see them moving forward and potentially doing something that does incorporate more gameplay with this technology they've got. But I mean, Supermassive Games has always been about telling interactive stories as opposed to being a game first. So they'd kind of to change their ethos in terms of how they create games to give us a different experience. So I don't see that happening. But if they can keep making games the quality of the Quarry, then I'm all for it. I'm going to pay my money and I'm going to keep playing them.
Final question from me, mate. How would this go as a VR experience, do you think?
I don't know that it would work. You'd have to go everything in first person. I'm not sure how it would work because of all the character interactivity and the facial expressions and stuff. Maybe you get more out of that if you were the character speaking to other characters and seeing their facial animations and stuff. It might work, but it could work. I suppose the fact that it isn't as interactive as any other game, and it could do quite well. But I mean, the way I've seen it is I really like seeing all the characters interact together and seeing their interactions with each other. So that would take it away if you were that person all of a sudden, and you essentially, halving the interactivity or halving the animation you're seeing at any given time. So I'm happy to keep them the way they're doing it, to be honest.
Yep, cool, good work. All right, I'm sorry, unless Bully, you had anything on the Quarry, mate?
No, I'm just interested in the QTEs, and hopefully you can drop those out, because they always catch me unaware. I think I'm about to hit a cutscene. I'll reach over, grab my beer, and realised, oh no, I've lost my beer.
Bully, to be honest, in this one, this is probably the easiest I've seen the QTs ever implemented. There's you don't really have to worry about pressing A, B, Y, X, or your square, triangle, square, triangle, X, and what am I missing? Square, triangle, X, and circle. You don't really have to worry about that. Like, a lot of the times they're using your down, left, up, and right on your D-pad anyway, or your joystick. So it's really easy. They give you a lot of time to decide what you're going to push, and it sort of makes sense. Like, a lot of times they're running, and if you've got to jump up, it'll be an up on the arrow. If you're going left or right, it's left or right on your joystick. So it's really easy. Those are the decisions that, at the moment during this game, haven't really caused me any issues. It's more so the decisions you're actually making and what you're saying to these characters is what actually causes the deaths, and it's not so much those other sort of quick time events. So I think you might actually like that if that's been your issue in the past.
No, we'll have to have a look at it then. I think the only other thing was I know you're playing on the Xbox, but just the implementation of the DualSense, because I know one of the features in the original Until Dawn was they had that you've got to keep the character still, and by doing that was holding the controller dead still, and if you move the controller even the slightest, if you were being chased, then that'd give you position away.
Bully, I famously lost only one character when I played Until Dawn. It was because of that very thing where I thought my controller right at the end was going to save Hayden Panettiere, my favourite character of that whole game. I had it sitting on my knee, as still as you could hope, and it apparently moved, and I died. So I'm glad that was not in this game. All you have to do to hold your breath in this game is hold I'll play Xbox, so hold the A button, and it does build nice tension. It's got this red meter down the side and blood coming, and you've only got to let go once you're allowed to let your breath go, and it really does. You almost feel yourself holding your own breath and at the same time, and then releasing only when you can. So it's pretty much, unless the user error is high, which it shouldn't be, holding down a button, then you're going to be fine as well.
Well, I suppose it depends how many beers I've had whether the user error goes up, but
true.
Sounds like something I'll need to jump into. I'm just about halfway through the Last Dark Pictures one, the House of Ashes. Yeah, so once I've finished through that, I'll definitely jump into this one.
Nice, yeah. If you like your teen horror stuff, this thing leans on all the tropes, and it is done very well to high tier. Like this is. Although I'd be hard pressed to call it a game, it's more of an interactive experience. This is up there in my top games of the year so far.
Nice work, Steve. I love it. Will we see it? Are you suggesting maybe in a Game of the Year type debate?
Oh, I think it could be there, Troy. Not only for the fact that it's like I'm enjoying it, but like just it's one of those fun things. Sitting down with my wife and the fact that she's actually invested in the game and the stories and stuff. It doesn't happen often, and it's just sort of a special experience to enjoy with a significant other. So that's sort of it's not so much the game itself, but it's the experience I'm having with it, playing with someone else.
Yeah, awesome, man. I love it. All right, beautiful. So that's the Quarry. Let's move on now, shall we, to game 2 this evening, which is Metal Hellsinger. Steve, what have you got for us, mate?
Oh, mate, this took me by surprise. This demo dropped during the whole Summer Games Fest stuff, and if you are a fan of Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal and you like your rhythm games and stuff, then this is for you. This is like Doom, but it's a rhythm game. I think there was a game called BPM that came out, which didn't really do it for me. It's a similar kind of concept where you got to kind of take enemies out on the beat. But yeah, this game was really cool. You essentially, as you can see the footage, you've got different firearms and different abilities, swords, etc. It looks very Doom-like, but you've got your meter in the middle where you're aiming. You got to try and hit on the beat. And as soon as you get up there, as you can see, there's 16 times at the top. You've got different metal songs that are playing. And during the level through the demo, as soon as you get to level 16, that's when the lyrics kick in. So you'll start hearing the vocals kick in, and it really gets you pumped. And like you are so pumped playing this game. It is just insane. It's literally like playing Doom meets Guitar Hero. It's so much fun, and I'm not the biggest metal fan, but this game did to me what Devil May Cry, the DMC remake game, did. It was just made me fall in love with that kind of music, just for the fact that it was placed where it was within the context of a video game, and it is so much fun, Troy.
Do you think, Steve, that they could release maybe some DLC for like barbershop quartet singer or something? Would it work with any other genre, or does it have to be metal?
I think it'll work with anything that's got a decent beat or rhythm to it, to be honest. So, but I think this game is definitely touted for the metalheads. I think it's got well-known metal artists and vocal artists and stuff throughout the game that they've created songs for the actual game itself. So you can stream this game with no worries about getting claimed for any licensed music, because it's all made for the game, which is cool by these artists. But I'm not sure. Bully, Troy, have you guys had a chance to give this demo?
I haven't seen it at all, Bully.
No, I haven't. I just saw it on the Summer Games Fest. Probably not one that interests me. I can see you get drawn into the music, but unless they're going to do country and western singing, that's probably where I'll be at.
I love it.
Taylor Swift slinger for Bully. There you go.
Sign me up day one.
Really enjoyable though, guys.
I tell you what, somebody on the PC modding front put in that old Saints Row 4 dubstep going. Let's do dubstep stinger, and I'm all about it. But I love it,
Troy,
Steve.
Speaking of Saints Row, Troy.
Whoa, look at a segue there, Steve. You've nailed this. It's game 3 this evening, people. It's the developers throwing it in your face. Of course they're right and you're wrong. I think they made a character creator. Steve, what can you tell me?
They did, mate. I just chucked this in there because I thought it was funny, because I was telling my little fella that he loves playing the Saints Row 3. When I say playing, he loves the character creator of Saints Row 3. That's all he seems to want to do. And then when I told him Saints Row 4 was coming out with like amazing customization, this is before the Summer Games Fest dropped, and then they dropped a demo version of the game which was just creating characters. My little fella's little face like lit up, because he was like, this is the best thing ever, this is the only thing I like in the game. So mate, we got to creating characters and stuff. I can't say that I think this is probably a better character creator than WWE 2K, but it's not bad. Like, we've created some pretty good characters, Troy, and I think if you chuck one we've got up there of my Bruce Willis.
Oh, here's what we prepared earlier. Bang,
I think you'll see that. Yeah, you can do some pretty good things with the character creator here. And my son's decided to create a few others as well, like Terminator and Morbius and stuff as well. There you go. There's Big Bruce.
Yeah, you nailed Bruce Willis there, man. He looks awesome.
So I'm looking forward to it. Like, my little fella wants me to delete him so I can create some of his other stupid characters, but I'm like, no, I'm playing this game day one as Bruce Willis. Thank you very much. Either that or I'm going to get back in there and create my Drake that I unfortunately had to delete because my Drake was actually looking pretty good as well. So you're going to have to take my word for it. But that's all we need from that. It's this game, I think, is out, what do we got, October, November?
Yeah, it hasn't been delayed into next year just yet. Steve, is there any trophies / achievements with this one?
There is not. It is just purely just character creator. There's some things you can't even do yet. There's material stuff you can't change. And I'm sure we're going to get a whole bunch more outfits on the game's launch. But as you can see, we've got a pretty good plethora of stuff you can actually do at the current state that it's in. So, no, not a bad character creator that Saints Row's got here. They are toting their game to have a lot of, creatability and stuff in terms of not just your character, but your vehicles and guns and stuff as well. So I look forward to seeing what kind of stuff we can create when the game comes out.
Awesome work, Steve. Thank you for checking it out because I have no intention of it. All right. Oh, sorry, Bully, unless you had anything on the Saints Row creator, mate.
Oh, you're the same as me. I think that's a hard pass.
Yes, very good. I love it. All right, game 4 then, everybody. If I hit that button, there it is now. Don't be deceived by the impersonator over there. That's actually me from Friday morning stream. But this was Bully, myself, and Aaron playing some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. But of course, Unky Dunky, you are the resident TNMT fan. So over to you, my friend.
Oh, mate, this game is just lighting up my childhood memories like you wouldn't believe. And just
I believe it.
Everyone knows how much I love Ninja Turtles, and this game is the perfect TMNT game. Like, yes, you might say, give us a dark version, like a nice, third-person action game, Turtles. But this thing, the way it plays is just incredible. I just finished the game as Leonardo the other night for the first playthrough and unlocked Casey Jones as a playable character, which I'm not sure if most people do know now. I think that once you finish the game, you unlock Casey. Woo! And I'm on my second playthrough now as Raphael, and I've done a bit of co-op stuff with my little fella in the misses as well. But what did you guys think of the old TMNT? I think it's a perfect recreation of the old arcade days.
Bully, mate, go, buddy.
Oh, 100%. I was saying on Friday, it sparked the days in the arcade time zone, the local arcade, just pumping dollar coins into it left, right and centre. I think it was this in the Simpsons game back in the day for me. And great recreation of it. It looks fantastic, plays fantastic. We did the co-op online, which had a couple of hiccups here and there, but hopefully that with a couple of patches they'll smooth that out, just with some of the delays. But other than that, it's absolutely amazing. I can see the replayability. You've got to get your character level up to, I think it's level 10 is the max. So you can start off with 6 characters. You get Casey Jones at the end of it, and then hopefully there's a few DLC in there as well. So plenty of replayability there as well.
It's funny you should mention DLC because I think the as well as this game is going, as well as it's been received, I think the developers are probably currently already looking at DLC for this. They'd be mad not to be because I think it's already on a lot of people's Game of the Year lists just for what it is and how well it's been implemented. The pixel art is perfect. The gameplay is perfect. I think 16 levels that you get in this game already are already so good and so memorable. I think the music and the soundtrack to this game is impeccable. I was speaking to Bully during this week. I've already got it downloaded on Spotify and had been listening to it at work, and it's just such a well done recreation of a good game, and they've just made it even better. I think it's just a hit. I think that's the only way to say it. I think there's a lot of people out there that have been craving a good Ninja Turtles game, especially after the last Ninja Turtles game that came out. I remember it was cool, but it wasn't great. So to get a game like this based off the old arcade game, I think we're just lapping it up at the moment, and it's awesome.
Now, I haven't finished it yet. Oh, here's a couple little interesting ones from my side. Bully, after we finished playing it, correct me, mate, was it level 6 we got to or 8?
I thought it was 6.
Very possibly, mate. So we finished at the end of episode 6, and then after that stream, I went back and played it single player, and I had access to everything we'd done multiplayer, and then I turned off the game, and when I rebooted it, I'd lost all that progress. So there's just a weird glitch, and I'm sure they'll fix it with a patch, just like as you're seeing in the footage up there. Anytime someone popped an achievement, multiplayer online, it just had horrible lag. Like we're talking multiple seconds of just screen freeze, nothing happening, and then trophy pop and you're off again. Steve, was that prevalent if you were just doing local multiplayer? Excuse me?
No, I had a flawless local co-op experience. So obviously playing on the Xbox, I didn't realise this game was coming out in Game Pass and did the preload and paid the $29.95, whatever it was.
Oh,
Not mad about it because the game's as good as it is. So I don't care at all about giving the developers my money. So that's fine. But yeah, I had no issues at all. I've heard the Switch can sort of drop frames a little bit down from 60 to the 50 frames per second playing multiplayer. But no, I had no issues local at all. I've played up to 3 players local, and I believe you can play up to 6 players local with controllers. And I've watched the Digital Foundry's video today that showed that, yeah, it doesn't seem to suffer any kind of stutters at all when it comes to extra players on screen. So that's very good. They've optimized it very well, which you'd hope they would with a game that utilizes pixel art. It's hardly the console crusher of a lot of games out there, but there's a lot going on screen at any given time and a lot of characters and stuff happening. So, to keep it up at that 60 frames, I think is a testament to the developers. And yeah, I just, speaking to the levels, I like how they've got hidden stuff throughout the levels you've got to find. You've got challenges. Yeah. I still don't know how I'm going to pass one of these challenges where you've got to get through the level with not getting hit at all.
Oh, just multiplayer with me, mate. I can do it easy.
You can do it easy? Cool. Yeah, as long as there's no platforming, we're fine.
Oh, Steve, go back and watch that stream, mate. My first move is to turn around and get punched in the face. I am terrible at this game.
Good. Oh, well, just definitely not playing co-op with you then.
Well, I can help you with the Revive a Buddy trophy, but that's about it.
Good. As in, like, I can revive you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. I'm a really easy one to earn that one on. But from me...
good.
For me, I absolutely love this game. And yes, if no one else nominates it for Game of the Year, it'll certainly be in the discussion from my side. I think this is great. Echoing your statements, guys, just brings me back to my childhood. I love the implementation all around. It's just nostalgic, and I absolutely love it. So 2 big thumbs up from the couch here at Geek Aloud, which brings us, of course, to Game 5. Steve, you've been playing some Mario Strikers. What can you tell us?
Oh, God, can I just point out that I've been playing way too many games this week?
Yes, you can. Yeah. Well done. Yeah. I love it.
Thanks. I was just in 2 weeks, so it's not too bad. Mario Strikers. I got this for my birthday. My birthday is this Saturday, so it hasn't happened yet. But my sister gave me this for my birthday, mainly because I asked for it. But I have never played a Mario Strikers game before, but it kind of intrigued me because I really like this style of game, which is more the soccer meets Rocket League meets like the old NHL games where you just sort of, you can bash people if you really want to as well and ram them up against a wall, which is funny to say because I actually did watch a Digital Foundry's video today where the developers of this game actually did get their start. They're a Canadian studio. They did make an NHL game back in the day. It was one of their first games, and you can sort of see it here. And I think they came on and made one of the initial GameCube versions of this game, and then they've obviously come on and make this. And there's actually the developers of Luigi's Mansion as well. So Luigi's Mansion 3 made by these guys, which is, you can tell because the graphics in this game are probably one of the best looking games you'll see on the Switch. Like the characters all look amazing. Everything's got a high quality to it. It runs at 1080p, 60 frames per second. It doesn't really drop a frame whatsoever. But no, I'm really loving my time with this. It's got a lot of mechanics to it. I did go through all the training, which I think if you're going to play this game, definitely go through the training because there's a lot of moves and stuff in this game that you're going to learn through that you would not otherwise know. But no, if you like your sort of fast paced, even if you're into the Smash Brothers or something like that, that's got a bit more than just the soccer to it, then get into it because it's a lot of fun. And I can see this being a lot of fun couch co-op or even online if Nintendo's online ever worked.
Few questions from me, mate, and it's just from this trailer because it's the only thing I've seen, but is the camera angle when you're playing it always that sort of overview of the pitch? Because in the trailer they sort of cut in, but I'm assuming that's just like a trailer thing and not actual gameplay. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's generally that over camera is generally what you're playing with, and then if you sort of kick cool goals and stuff, they'll go into like a 3D camera mode thing and show you a replay of your goal, or you've got that cool animation stuff when you hit those super shots as well, where you've got to hit the meter at 2 blues each side to hit your meter, and that'll give you actually 2 goals in one if you can manage to hit those. There's points you unlock throughout the game. You can see on the screen with gear you can unlock for your characters and stuff as well that it ups their attributes and all that kind of stuff. So strength, speed, shooting, passing, and technique and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in this game. There's cups that you can go through, kind of like your Mario Kart cups where you play through levels and sort of earn trophies. So I think I've won 3 now of my cups. So you obviously play tournament style where you knockout process, like 4 teams into two teams, into one team, into a grand final, and then you win your trophy. But you can pick whatever team you like. You can choose whether you have your gear equipped or not. I don't know why you wouldn't have your gear equipped, because it makes your characters better. But anyway, no, it's a cool game, really cool art style, really good fun just to jump in, jump out, play. I only expected to play sort of one game the other night and ended up playing 3 tournaments and won all 3 trophies. So yeah, I was on there for maybe 2 hours or so. So no, really enjoyable game. It'd be nice to have someone to play couch co-op with. It'd be one of those really good ones to have friends around. But this time and day and kids and all that stuff, it's very hard to do that. I can see kids having a lot of fun with this one though.
Is it? Sorry, you've said it's the developers of Luigi's Mansion. Did they include Luigi by any chance? Because that'd be pretty cool.
There's no Luigi, unfortunately. It'd be a great iteration, I think, of this game. But I can see this game. It's pretty bare bones, single player wise at the moment. Like as I said, there are these tournaments where you're playing. I think there's maybe 6, and then you unlock a 7th going through the tournaments. And I think that's pretty much all there is in terms of single player stuff. So I can see there being DLC, and I think that's been the main gripe of players playing this game as a single player game, that there isn't too much there for the single player. So I can see there being DLC, and you never know. Let's hope we get that Luigi in there.
Is there any talk of a battle pass or the like, something like this in there?
No, nothing like that at all. There might be talk of more characters coming to the game at a later time, but nothing battle passy as far as I know.
Cool. That's it from me. Question-wise, Bully, any other questions for Mario Strikers, mate?
Oh, I think you answered it, Steve, with the amount of single player content, because I know that was one of the biggest criticisms of Mario Tennis and Mario Golf when they both released for the Switch. That there wasn't a lot to do, and it sort of got fleshed out over the months and years after they got released. So that's sort of been sort of why I've sort of held off on it, just to wait until they get a bit more things released, whether it's through DLC or just updates and patches and stuff, just to flesh it out a bit more.
Yeah, that's probably, if you are going to be playing this a lot of single player, then maybe hold off till they do that. But if your kids are going to jump into it and play, and you're going to get all of that couch co-op stuff, then definitely pick it up day one, because there's a lot of fun to be had. There's a lot of mechanics there. It does have that fun sort of pick up and play and wanting to keep playing again. Like, I'll finish a match and automatically you just want to keep playing again, because you just want to keep pulling off the cool moves and tackles and special moves and stuff like that. So, and as I said, it does look really good. It is the guys that made Luigi's Mansion arguably one of the best looking games on the Switch. So you've got some good tech behind it. So if you've got people that want to play it and you're going to play multiplayer, then maybe get it day one.
Awesome. I love it. Glowing recommendation, which can only bring us on to, Game 6. Oh, now, speaking of glowing recommendations, this is Hot Wheels Unleashed. And I've got to say, for maybe the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been putting some time into this on both the PlayStation and the Xbox. I've got on both of them, and both those installs went up on the channel today. They're available if you're interested. I can't speak highly enough of this game. We were just speaking about Nintendo and their, I'm blanking on it now. Steve, help me out. Mario Kart is the one I'm looking for. It's very Mario Kart, but it's obviously it's Hot Wheels, so it's based on tiny cars. But the realism they've put in it for the car sounds, the way it looks, and the feel in the control of the way it handles, with respect to like a Forza Horizon, for example, the controls are spot on both the Series X and the PlayStation. The DualSense 5 wins, of course, because it's got the the PlayStation wins for the DualSense because of the implementation, the feedback on the triggers is top notch. And also for this game, it's fantastic. If you've got young kids like me, it's perfect couch co-op game. But speaking of couch co-op game, where is it? Oh my God, I'm not ready for this. What are we on? This one. Take a look at this, fellas. Cast your eye up here. The recent PlayStation patch they put out, unfortunately caused a bit of trouble. Sing out if you can see at home the problem the latest PlayStation patch caused. Guys, I'll give you a second for the stream to catch up, but I know one of you will spot it. Can you see the problem with the latest patch in multiplayer on PlayStation for Hot Wheels Unleashed?
There's no screen on the right side, Troy.
Yeah, that's right. They patched it and totally killed the multiplayer on PlayStation. I have no idea how no one checked that, but that one certainly went through to the keepers. Mario Mario style.
Troy, you also said if you've got kids like you, now does that mean if we've got kids that are 30-plus-year-old males, or if we've got kids like your kids? I just want to clarify that.
Just if you have children, that's it. If you have children that play video games, it's a fantastic pickup.
I have spoken highly of this game in the past when I picked it up, when I think on launch, being a whale that I am. I love this game. It's a really cool, really good sense of speed, and I know they've added a whole bunch of DLC and stuff since then as well.
Oh, that Batman DLC, it sings to me, but at $22.
I know. It's close. We'll see.
$22 is just a bit rich for my taste. If I see a discount on that Batman DLC, I'll be all over it. But I can't speak highly enough of this game. If you've ever played Mario Kart and enjoyed it, this game, I tell you, is just like it, and you're going to really love it. As I said, the other really cool thing I wanted to mention is there's a track a bit in, I want to say maybe on 22 races down of 52. I think there's 52 races up just in the single player campaign. There's a million other modes though, like that is by no means the end of it. About 22 races in though, and it's got, now I'm not sure if it's a double loop or a triple loop, but I found out today, if you're not going fast enough and you're on top of that loop and you run, or your acceleration just backs off enough, you fall off the loop and land on your roof. It's so awesome the way you can crash in this game. That and spinning off the track, and it can be set up in your basement, or there's a few different like rooms of the house where these tracks are set up, and you can fly off the side of the track, and just the attention to detail in the background. Check it out. It's just a visual treat, and the whole on both systems, it runs at 60 frames per second flawlessly, excluding multiplayer, currently split screen on PlayStation. Bit of an issue there. But other than that, this game is fantastic top to bottom, and I wish I had played it last year, because it would have been, I would have given it a fair nudge for Game of the Year. It would have been right in there, I tell you. But, financial constraints, I had to wait till it hit a good sale, which it is. Which reminds me, still on sale, I think, for 3 more days on Xbox for, I want to say 27 yans. It's right around there. So if you're into it, if you've got an Xbox and about $27 free, jump on it. Sorry, Bully, do you have any comments? Sorry, Steve, go, mate.
Before Bully, there's only one thing I'll say is that I wish it had a Forza-style rewind function, because you can be having the perfect race and be into third lap and just have one mistake and everyone go past you. So I kind of wish it had that Forza thing where you'd have to restart the whole race. And I'll only bring it up now because it's coming out later, but like Forza does have a Hot Wheels expansion coming out, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, yes. I tell you, mate, I've been getting into this lately, and that announcement has got me so excited. As we know, we covered it last year, but the way they did that Halo DLC, what was that? No, Forza Horizon 4, I believe, had that Halo mission.
Yeah.
That thing is phenomenal. If they do anything like that, and I know they've done Lego in the past, and I loved it, but the way they did the Halo DLC, they made it so much more like the base game. And I know they tried really hard in Forza, but they never quite got there. If they can make it feel like this game in Forza, wow, that's going to be some hot stuff. Sorry, Bully, any comments?
No, I played it not long after launch last year. I think my only thing with it was that, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, having played it a bit more lately, the rubber banding on it, I know that's a staple of the Mario Kart style games, but I found the rubber banding on this was horrendous.
Oh, I haven't noticed it at all. When you say horrendous, are you saying it's heavily penalising you, or it's far too easy to get caught back up to the first spot?
Oh, no, it's, well, both. It was too easy to get back up into sort of first, second or third, but once you got there, you didn't matter how well you drove, you couldn't get any further ahead than anyone. You were only just ahead of them, and to Steve's point, you miss one corner, you crash, and that's the end of your race.
Yeah, I think that's what I found frustrating in the end. Like, I could be racing as well as I could and get towards the end of a third lap and then make one tiny mistake. And then, because even as well as I've been driving, you've got guys straight behind you that race past you, and then like that's your race done. So I'm not sure if that's been fixed recently in a patch at all, because I did play it sort of a few months ago, but that was my only frustration with it.
Well, I'm playing it currently. Obviously, I've only been playing it for the last 2 weeks, and I have not once thought about the rubber banding one way or the other. It's never even raised its head in my races. So could be that I'm bad at gaming, or it could be that they've changed it in a patch. Take a pick.
Let's go with the patch, Troy, because we know you're a great gamer.
Oh, speaking of, here we go. There's a segue. Game 7, Elden Ring. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I'll take a bow. I finally killed the fire giant. I am one step closer to rolling credits on my game of the year. Guys.
Well done, Troy. I know how hard the fire giant is, so well done. Because, like, even if you try and fight this thing co-op, it's impossible because you need to be on a horse, and I'm pretty sure I haven't seen you. I know you've gone co-op, have you?
No, that's my mimic. What do you call it? Mimic T. It's my clone.
That's okay because this boss is so hard. I reckon I found this guy almost as hard as the final boss, which is saying a lot because the final boss is really difficult. But this was definitely a hard stop point for me where, like, it took forever.
Oh, it was so painful for me. I was grinding this guy for the past 6 weeks. Just whenever I felt up for a good teeth kicking in, I'd fire it up, have 1 or 2 or 3 cracks at him, walk away in defeat and tears, and then, come back to him. I said I was doing it for 6 weeks. I estimate about 10 hours worth of trying to get this guy down, but finally did it, and I couldn't stop fist pumping for the rest of the day after I finally dropped him. Geez, I'm proud of myself, but I haven't done anything else. I put the controller down. I'm just too happy with myself to continue playing on. I will get back to it in the upcoming week, though. But, whoa, man, am I proud of myself for doing that one. Bully, are you beyond this? I don't even know, mate. I don't even think we've spoken to you about Elden Ring. Bully, where are you with Elden Ring?
It's been a couple of months now. I can't remember the exact point I was up to, but I was probably similar to you, struggling a lot. Had to get Steve to jump into a few of the boss fights to try and help me through with it, but it just... I think I've said in the past, it's just that amount of time that you've got to put into it to learn the moves of each of the bosses and all the rest of it. I can't put in that time every day to be able to do it. So I've sort of dropped off at something a little more easier. Maybe I'll go back to Hot Wheels.
You need some rubber banding in the old Elden Ring. That'd help.
Indeed it would. But yeah, so I'm intending to go hard on Elden Ring in the next week. So if you're enjoying Elden Ring and like end-game stuff, you can bet next week I'll be talking about it a bit more, maybe a few more highlights of the end bosses, should I happen to come across any. Sorry, Steve, just to catch everyone up, you've finished the game, haven't you? You've definitely rolled credits on Elden Ring?
I have definitely rolled credits on Elden Ring. I haven't gone New Game Plus. I've just sort of delving, in and I've gone around the map and just like fought a lot of extra bosses and stuff like that. So I'm probably coming to the end of my Elden Ring, at least number 1 game, my first playthrough. Whether I get back to it or not, with a whole bunch of games probably coming out soon, I don't know if I'll get back to it, but definitely still sitting pretty firmly as number 1 game of the year at the moment.
So what you're saying, Steve, is in, 3 or 4 weeks when I'm on the show saying how proud I am of my Elden Ring Platinum, is that in no way going to sort of tantalise you back?
If you get the platinum in Elden Ring, Troy, then I'll cut off my left hand.
Oh, no, don't make such promises, Steve, because I'm going to tell you, I am making great headway on that platinum. Retract
well, on that note, if you need help, Troy, I'm more than happy to jump back in now.
I love it. I'll take all the help I can get. I'm sure I'm going to need it coming up. I think there's, how many bosses are there? I want to say there's 6. I'm going to say 6 bosses in the end area, which I haven't gotten to yet. As I understand it, there's a small kind of end area that has 6 bosses in it, all with trophies attached to either defeating them or, cashing in their soul to the finger lady. I'm a
bit worried because I do know that Troy uses guides and stuff for this shit as well. So
you should be, mate. Seriously, I am. It's all the stars are aligning. You just give me a couple more weeks, mate, and that platinum is going to be mine. And yeah, I'm going to call you even if it's in the middle of the night, Steve, and proclaim it's an emergency. I've got the platinum. Get to work.
If you can beat that last boss in the next 5 weeks, I'll cut off my right hand.
Oh God, Steve, don't promise such things. I have to keep people to their word. It's one of my.
Well, then I ain't going to be doing much gaming at all because I ain't going to have either of my hands in the next 10 weeks.
Oh, well, I don't know if you remember the SMS I sent you, Steve, of my son playing Forza with his feet up on the wheel. You maybe, you just need a different controller moving forward and just game with your feet, buddy.
I might have to move.
There it is on screen, folks. Sorry, I was just drawing out till everyone could see the trophy pop. And now that we've done that, moving on to game 8, if I can find the button. There it is. Oh, my God, I've put my... Wow, I did that poorly. Wow, I really broke that. There should be footage up there. Before I try and scarp it to get the footage, this was meant to be part A. I just want to let everyone know that if you've got Xbox Game Pass, Game Pass, the current perk is to get that one. What is it? The Deluxe Pack for free for Assassin's Creed Origins. That's available for free. If you've got Game Pass, get on it. Steve, I think you've got something to talk to us about Assassin's Creed while I try and fix my error here, mate. Over to you.
Yeah, no, I've just been getting back into Odyssey, as we were speaking about before the show and stuff as well. It's like easily now one of my favourite Assassin's Creed games in terms of setting and character as well. I'm not sure what you guys picked to play as, whether you played as Cassandra or Alexios. Bully, who'd you play as?
Went with Cassandra, and I think I even followed that up in the Valhalla with the female character. I can't remember her name.
Oh, really? Yeah, because apparently Cassandra is canon according to the Assassin's Creed people. But yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, I played as Alexios, and I really enjoyed him as a character. Or really enjoying him as a character, and just this game is ridiculously beautiful. Like playing through Odyssey on an Xbox Series X at 4K and 60 frames per second, like. Looking at it now, going even from even newer games, like this thing just sings graphically. Like it runs perfectly. It looks incredible. I jumped from Uncharted 4, the remaster on PS5, to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Odyssey is just crisper, more vibrant, and just for an open world game, it just looks absolutely incredible. And you might say the combat's not quite as good as something like Valhalla, which sort of leaned in more towards the Souls-like combat, but just some of the moves and stuff you've got.
Valhalla, bring the hammer down! Sorry, back to you.
That's right. Yeah, so the combat itself is fun, and you got a lot of moves and stuff that you can attach to your LB and you hit it. It's very Diablo-ish and different moves and stuff you've got, which is kind of I've been playing a lot of Diablo Immortal over the last couple of weeks as well, and seeing those move sets within Assassin's Creed sort of that RPG mechanic as well sort of got me into it. It was Origins that, as you can see on screen now, that got me back into playing Assassin's Creed, but the fact that I'm starting Origins from scratch, whereas opposed to going back to Odyssey where I've got an established character at a high level and towards the end of the game, I've been more hooked on going back and playing Odyssey recently. But yeah, Troy, tell us about your experience with loading up Origins and the backwards compatible with now the 60 frames.
Thank you, mate. First off, I need to throw a big thank you to you, Bully Sir. Without your talking about this on the last episode, I wouldn't have fired it up. But I've fired it up. It's got me in hook, line, and sinker. So thank you, Bully. Awesome recommendation, mate.
Oh, no, I love this one. I think it was just the Greek mythology and culture that there is so much to flesh out in there. If anybody knows or has read anything about the history or the Greek history around that time, there is so many characters, so much mythology, so many mystical beasts and stuff that you get into fighting in this game. I was the same as you when I first played it. A little taste of it with some of the mythical beasts and like the centaur and the Medusa and that sort of stuff, and then I was done and away and hooked.
Yeah, it was great. And obviously, so Assassin's Creed Origin recently got the, 60 frames a second patch, and it's in Xbox Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass, definitely get on it, check it out. It looks fantastic. Hopefully it's coming through. Obviously, unfortunately, currently not running a 4K stream. This game does look significantly better than it does here, but my goodness, going back to this game, it's a real treat. I started from the start, and what can I say? I love Assassin's Creed, and this is fantastic. It's a great excuse to get back into it. If you've got Game Pass, just fire it up for 5 minutes. You will not regret the decision. That's it for there. Now, I need to find... Sorry, Steve, unless you had any other additional comments.
No additional comments. I'll bring up something in a sec when you go to our overtime, Troy.
By overtime, do you mean our fancy new graphic overtime? Yes, Steve.
I do.
What can you tell me about your overtime this week?
Mate, on the list, it's a little bit different, but I'll jump quickly just to Horizon Forbidden West because in terms of like open world games like Assassin's Creed, like Odyssey's actually drawn me in more so than what Horizon Forbidden West has this week. But I have jumped back into Horizon Forbidden West and managed to get myself to the point where you managed to unlock the ability to fly pterodactyls, which I thought was really cool. I saw it coming a mile. I saw it coming a mile away, but yeah, the fact that I'm now doing it can override the whatever I can't remember the name. Bully. Do you remember what they're called? You played a lot of Assassin's Creed. I saw it. A lot of Horizon Forbidden West.
Can't remember off the top of my head.
Something wings? Are they? What are they? Something wing?
X-wing.
Give me 2 seconds and I will find out for you.
Did you say X-wing?
I did. How much does it look like a Fortnite glider?
It does very much look like a Fortnite glider. I'm not sure. You can get Aloy in Fortnite, I believe, or there was a point where you could use it. So, they probably did use one of those as a glider. But no, I'm enjoying my time with Horizon. It still looks amazing now with the most recent update patch, and I'm fighting one of the last bosses, I think. So I'm very close to finishing that game. We'll move on from open world games, though. But Troy.
Wait. Sorry, Steve, if I can just ask you, mate, did you buy Horizon as digital or physical?
Digital, Troy, digital.
So I can't borrow it off you. Sorry, mate, continue.
Unfortunately, not. I do most of my things digital. No, so next thing, I've actually been playing a fair bit of my Oculus the last couple of days just because, yeah, I know. It's fun because like I always forget I've got it and how good the game experiences actually can be on it. But a new game on the Oculus was called, I don't know what IB stands for, Irritable Bowel Cricket, I don't know, but International something cricket. But anyway.
International Bowling Cricket, I'm sure it's bowling.
Maybe, but all you do is it could be batting cricket because a lot of this game is just batting. But I don't know if you like cricket at all.
I hate cricket with a passion.
Okay.
I worked on it for 10 years straight. It stole my Boxing Day for 10 years straight, and I never want to see it again.
Bully, where are you with cricket?
Oh, second behind AFL.
Okay, so love it. Okay, good. So, Bully, in terms of VR experiences, this is one of the best you're going to get because as fun as I had playing cricket games on my TV where you sit there behind the stumps and you play cricket, you just slog everything for 6, this thing puts you behind the crease in a stadium and you've got bowlers coming at you almost like real life, like real quick things. You got to watch the ball and you got to play it like an actual batter. It is so much fun. Like you got to block and like cover your stumps, or you like get down to a sweep slog if you want, or sit back and do a cut shot through the covers. Like, dude, this thing is so much fun, and it looks good. It plays way better than it should, but it is so much fun on the Oculus Quest. So, or I should say, the Meta Quest 2. So, had a lot of fun with that recently, and I did jump through play some more Resident Evil 4, and there's some other shooting games and stuff that are quite cool, like Call of Duty and stuff. But just thought I'd mention the fact that I've been playing a bit of the cricket on MetaQuest 2, which is really good.
Can I ask, mate, just on that batting, you're talking about, how well it represents the shots, but how do the shots feel? How do the controllers feel for a bat, and is there vibration, that sort of thing?
No, it feels really good. You can literally stand there and you bat on the crease and you hear it like thud, and you can feel the vibration in your controller as you're hitting the pitch. And as you play your shots, like they just feel like you're actually playing those shots. Like
awesome.
I even got stumped today. Like I charged the bowler and try and hit him over hit his spinner over the boundary, and I missed the ball, and then I got stumped. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, okay, so I actually be more careful about what I do with that. But it's really cool. You're in this whole stadium, you hit 4s and 6s, like the flames go up like you're playing a 2020 match, and you can set all your parameters, like how many overs you want to play, how many wickets you've got, all that kind of stuff. You've got leaderboards and all that kind of thing going on. But no, it's a really cool experience. Just like really pick up and play, kind of like playing stick cricket on your phone, but like you're actually playing in the actual stadium. It's really, really cool experience. I can't talk about it highly enough.
Could you maybe in some way affix your controllers to an actual bat so you get the weight as well? Would that work, or am I dreaming?
But there are bats they have made for this game that you can buy. Yeah,
nice.
So they have made the Irritable Bowel Cricket bat you can buy. I'm not sure you can buy it in stores. You might have to import it, but definitely. I think this game's massive in India, so you can probably import it from over there and get to play it here. But it'd be something worth investing in because I think it would definitely make the experience even more so as good as what I've already experienced. But no, I can't speak more highly about IB cricket.
Final question, mate. Is the G in it, and how does it look to your eye?
Is what in it?
The MCG, sorry.
Oh, the MCG? No, at the moment, they're all kind of, they're not real-to-life stadiums. From what I can tell, they're just sort of made-up stadiums at the moment. So they do kind of hearken to some of those stadiums. I think the one that I've got at the start of the game, I haven't unlocked any of the other stadiums at the moment, is very reminiscent of your MCG stadium. So, no, it's very cool, though, to be out there in the middle of a pitch and look around and see crowds and stuff and actually feel like you're in the middle of a massive stadium. It is very cool.
Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. And sorry, what was next in the overtime list?
I've just been playing a lot more Strangers of Paradise as well. Final Fantasy, it definitely was hitting on that Diablo vibes as well. I'm right towards the end of that game now, loving the loot, loving all the stuff I've done with that game. Still looks great with its updated patch, which, makes it look almost on par. I say on par, but that's me probably misremembering what Final Fantasy VII actually looked like, because Final Fantasy VII, I think, is a very good-looking game.
It is, yeah.
So it probably doesn't look that good, but, with its patch, it definitely looks way better than it did. So if you haven't got into it, get into it. And
Nice.
the last game I've been playing, I have to mention that I went and saw probably arguably the best movie I've ever seen in my entire history of going to see movies, being the new Top Gun Maverick.
I am dying to see this film in the cinemas, mate. I can't wait to get there.
You have to see it. It is the best movie I've ever seen. My wife didn't even think she was going to like it. She loved it. I walked out of there going, that's the best movie I've ever seen. Don't at me. Tom Cruise is amazing as Maverick. It harkens perfectly back to the first movie in every way you could possibly hope.
Nice.
With building new things. I didn't think I'd come out of the movie saying it's better than the original, but it's better than the original.
That is fantastic. I love the original, and I love Tom Cruise in everything he's ever been in. My wife hates him. I absolutely love him. I can't wait to go and see another Tom Cruise flick at the cinemas, mate. I'm pumped.
Dude. Oh, you have to, but that brings me back to the game. I decided to reinstall Ace Combat 5 and Whale Alert Troy. The whale and me did have to purchase the Top Gun, the firefighter kit, which gave me all the planes from Top Gun just to play in the game, and it's just as good as I thought it would be.
Nice. Are you going to check out the flight simulator? I think that had the Top Gun DLC as well.
No, because Troy, that takes about 100 plus gigs on my console, so that's not going to happen. And the Ace Combat experience, I think, is more akin to what that movie is anyway, in terms of being able to actually go and fly and fight other planes and stuff as well. So, and they do give you every single aircraft from that movie, and I won't give you any spoilers, but there's a really cool plane in that movie.
Nice. Sorry, just from my side, I know, God, I'm jumping here, but with the flight simulator, I was playing it, to your point, mate, it's such a big download, I didn't bother, I was playing it from the cloud. The interesting thing I'll note is I booted it up from the cloud and then went over to the, Top Gun DLC, and you could install it at no charge, but you had to install it on their server. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, it's their server. Shouldn't it be already installed? I don't know. That blew my mind.
Strange, very strange. But playing the cloud's cool, but that's weird that you would have to download it separately.
Yeah, so crazy. Anyway, sorry, that was it for your overtime, Steve?
That's it for my overtime, Troy. Thank you.
Nice one. I'll take it over then. Just quickly on my side, as Steve was saying, Diablo Immortal, I cannot put this game down. Every single day, I'm in there. I'm slaying foes and loving myself. Stick, that game's amazing. Ignore all the haters out there. Play Diablo Immortal. Fantastic game. Get onto it. The next one is Puzzle Quest 3. I mentioned on here a couple of weeks back that they had tweaked all the payouts and the in-game currency and turned it into a pay-for-win game. When it launched, it was just an awesome game, and then 4 weeks after launch, they pulled it all and turned it into a pay-to-win game. And I'm pleased to report that they've reverted that decision maybe by half, and the payouts have come back a lot more generous. So I guess they had a big player die-off, but that's turning the corner. It's coming back. So if you deleted it, maybe check it out again. The developers appear to have responded to at least my negative criticism here. I haven't looked for it anywhere else. I don't know if everyone was complaining. Surely they were. But my final game for the evening's overtime is Super Perils of Baking. Man, I've still been playing for this. Big shout out to Lilymo Games. Thank you. They sent through the code for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Those installs are available on the channel. I looked at that PlayStation 5 trophy list, which is, the hard version of the trophies list. No way I'm getting maybe any of those trophies. I don't think. Fantastic game, though. If you're into platforming, get onto it. It is fantastic. That's it from overtime. Over to you, Bully.
Thanks, lads. Two that I've had a bit of a dabble in this week. Undertale, went back to that, heard great things about it. I know it's getting a few years old now. Probably went into it with a bit of an understanding of what you need to do and what not to do. So they've tried to go the pacifist route, which for those that don't know means basically you don't kill any of the monsters or the creatures you come across. I'm about 3 hours in, starting to get very difficult with some of the combat puzzles and stuff, but we'll keep pushing through that. The other one had a bit of a weed moment a couple of weeks ago. The Doki Literature Club. Don't know how I ended up with it. I think it was I got it cheap on a sale, but I thought, I'll throw that in and have a look. The best way to describe it is, as a 40-year-old male, uncomfortable.
Wait. Is it uncomfortable when you're playing it by yourself or only when someone else walks into the room?
I'll go with both. You're just hoping.
You get a reflection of yourself and seem like disappointed in yourself. Is that what happens?
Well, there's a couple of moments in the game where you just think to yourself, "What am I doing here?
Why am I here? How did I get here?"
Now, am I hearing a Game of the Year nomination?
Depends what you're into, I suppose. But it is. I will say one thing for it. It is quite funny because it does have it's basically a visual novel with a couple of interactive elements into it. But there is parts of it that sort of get you involved in the story. So it's, as much as you sit there thinking, I shouldn't be playing this, is another part of you that sits there going, I actually want to find out what happens there.
Let me guess. He cleans the pool. No.
No, it's set in a high school. They write poems. Just the setup is it's a extracurricular class that he's in with half a dozen other girls. They write poems and stories, etc., and that's how he tries to hook the girls in.
I see. And how's the character creator in that one?
Thankfully, non-existent.
And what about
the character is what you create in yourself?
The Rumble feedback. How does it feel when you play it? What's the game feel like in the hand?
Yeah, Bully. What does the game feel like in the hand?
Well, thankfully it's a PS4 game and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make use of the dual sense. And I think I might leave it there because he's going down a rabbit hole I don't think any of us want to go to.
Fair enough. In that case, allow me to just loudly kick in a newsroom. You have the right to remain newsworthy, and I nailed it this week. Pat myself on the back for this one. All right, first up on Polygon, the biggest announcement from Summer Games Fest Live. Unky Dunky, reporter in the field. You went over to LA, didn't you? You were hands-on at E3, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, let's say I was. No one's going to know any different. Now, we can go through these, and you can tell me whether you want to stop and get the details or move on. So we'll start with Street Fighter 6. Bully, Troy, do we stop and get details or we move on?
Oh, I just quickly want Bully to tell you what he told me in the TNMT stream the other day about his views on the open world.
Oh, I think yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why they're going open world. Just keep it simple, keep it arcade, move on. Having said that, I've probably got little to no interest in playing it anyway.
Fair enough. Steve, are you going to pick it up, do you think?
Probably not. I'm not the biggest, fighting fan at all. I did remember, probably my fighting game days probably did start with maybe Street Fighter and the original Mortal Kombat on PC. But I don't see myself picking this up unless it's on Game Pass.
Steve, sorry, just one quick question for you, mate. How much money did they pay you for the motion capture of the arms there that you can see on screen?
Not enough, Troy. Not enough.
All right, then moving on from 6. Next up, Steve.
We have Aliens Dark Descent. Do we want to stop and obtain details or move on?
Well, know
the only thing I'd say is this was the greatest con job I've ever seen. And I've seen a few at the E3s.
To elaborate, Bully.
Well, it came across, if you watch the trailer, which I think Troy's whacking on now, it comes across as almost a third-person shooter, or maybe even they're doing the camera angles and it'll end up being a first-person shooter. It's an isometric game. And that wasn't shown until the very, very, very last moment of that reveal.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a sequel to that most recent Aliens game we had, potentially in a single-player game. But then I saw the isometric view. I was like, nope, pass.
Hard pass from me too. So let's move on, shall we? Oh, here it is, Callisto Protocol. Who isn't excited about this one, Steve?
Oh, game of the year. Let's just call it now. Nothing else is coming out this year because everything's been pushed to next year. But Callisto Protocol is bad boy. That did come out. That's the thing. But Callisto Protocol. Let's talk about the games that are coming out, Troy. That are going to compete with Elden Ring to be Game of the Year because it needs some competitors, and I think Callisto Protocol for me definitely is a competitor for Game of the Year. From what I've seen, it's the ex-developer of Dead Space, one of my favourite horror third-person action games of all time. Yep. And I think from what we've seen so far of this game, it's got next-gen written all over it. It's looking next-gen. It looks like it might feel next-gen, and I cannot wait to play Callisto Protocol coming this December, and I believe it will hold that date. What do you boys think?
I'm pumped. I have faith in the date simply because this is totally a Halloween game and they haven't said Halloween and then delaying it to December 2nd. I think they've just announced the date they're actually confident in hitting. So I'm excited. How about you, Billy?
Oh, I don't know about the date. That is a weird date for me. Anything that's releasing in December is missing that critical, especially for the US market, the Black Friday sales and the Thanksgiving Day sales, and then you're hitting into the Christmas area. Oh, that gives me a lot of concern that it's not going to hit that date.
That's a very good call, and I'm blanking. Who can fill it in? What came out December 7th last year and was an awesome game? I am so blanking on it, but I know December 7th last year had one because we were like, it's so late in the year. What are they doing?
You're right. There has been a few games, I think, in the last few years that have released in December and been big, and I think it's because they have separated themselves from that rush of pre-Christmas hype and stuff like that. And I think this is going to be that game. It's like how we used to get games or the odd game that would release in February, and now February seems to be the time where everyone wants to release their games. So I think December coming out this time, I think it separates itself from that. It comes out just before Christmas. It's got the hype, and I think it's going to do very well, and I reckon it hits this date.
I'm back in this date as well. I'm excited by it. We're all excited for it here. This is going to be great. Next up, Steve, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, mate.
Yeah, no, this was cool. This was a cool gameplay show. I don't think we need to see as much of the game as they actually showed us. I think they showed us a full level, essentially, from the game, sit on a hanger. I don't think we need to see that much of it or that much of that part of the game because it was essentially a lot of what Modern Warfare 2 was in that level.
Can I jump in there, mate?
Yeah.
Sorry, you've prompted me and I'm going to forget otherwise. Now, not this Summer Games Fest. Was it last year's Summer Games Fest, or it might have been his what's his December jobby?
Game Awards.
Game Awards. Thank you.
Awards.
He got up and gave a tongue lashing to Bobby Kotick. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
And then Activision were the only big boys on his stage this year. I think the reason they got that huge slot was him apologising to Activision. I'd suspect maybe all the other big boys, Ubisoft's, etc., EA, maybe all they passed on the Summer Games Fest because he threw a big developer under the bus, last year on his last show. I think he had to come, make make good with Activision. Sorry, guys, sorry. Have a big slot here, go for it. And in the hope of getting the other big games, the other big developers or publishers, to come along to his next Game Fest or Game Awards. What do you think about that one? Does that sound like I'm dreaming?
Yeah, potentially. It was a big drop for this, and it was a big showing for what a game was. Pretty much we know what to expect as well. Granted, I think Keighley was a little bit hamstrung with what he had for his show anyway, just given the COVID situation and what games are actually ready for showing and what games are ready to come out and stuff as well. But it was a reasonably long showing for Call of Duty for what I think we needed. That being said, I'm very excited for Modern Warfare 2. I love Modern Warfare 1. I went through quite a few weeks ago now with my hassles with trying to play Modern Warfare 1 again and how annoying it was and how shit it ran on the old Xbox, but having to want to play that game again because I did enjoy it so much. And I'm really hoping, and from what I've seen of this gameplay stuff, I think it's going to be a really good game. And I'm happy we're getting Modern Warfare 2 this year because Modern Warfare is my favourite version of Call of Duty.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm excited. And looking at this footage again now, I'm reminded how excited I am to check this one out with the DualSense on the PlayStation 5. Look at the rain sweeping across the oil rig. Tell me you're not looking forward to the returnal rain effects on the DualSense as you play this, mate. Oh, it's going to be exciting. Look at it. Oh, I can't wait. All right, what was next? Flashback 2.
Flashback 2. This looked cool. Bully, did you have any thoughts on Flashback 2? Because I never played Flashback 1, but I really like the looks of this Flashback 2.
No, I don't think I ever went through Flashback 1, but I think I'm just going to have a look. No, I don't have any. I'm just going back through my notes when I watched it. I didn't have anything there, and I can't recall it. As I said a couple of weeks ago now, and there's a couple of these smaller ones that I've sort of dropped off my memory bank.
Yeah, Flashback 2 doesn't resonate with me at all. I never played Flashback 1. Having said that, I'll note to everyone watching live, I think maybe you've got 5 or 6 hours up your sleeve, but they are giving away on Good Old Games, GOG.com, Flashback 1. Currently, I think it was a 24-hour freebie Flashback 1. So if you want to go back and check out Flashback 1, hit up Good Old Games right now and grab, for free, add it to your library, Flashback 1, if you're so inclined. Sorry, Steve, what can you tell us about Flashback 2?
Not a whole lot, other than the fact that I've looked at it and I like the art style. I like that kind of game when it comes to shooting and stuff, and I think it's going to be a really fun game, and I'm pretty sure it's going to come to Xbox Game Pass as well, so I can really see myself play. It's got a cyberpunk aesthetic that I really like, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, the only thing I'll note as well is it reminded me a little bit of The Ascent to look at.
Yes, a little bit, which the set was quite cool. It did also have that cyberpunk thing, but I did fall off that game eventually just due to its difficulty level.
Fair enough. That brings us on to Fort Soldis, Unky Dunky. What do you know about this one?
Fort Soldis. Seems like the theme for Summer Games Fest was horror games in space, because that's what this looked like. It's got Troy Baker in it. It's got Roger Clark, who is the main character of Red Dead Redemption 2, if you remember. Bringing two pretty good voice actors together on this game, and it's been described as like a third-person action suspenseful kind of thriller game. And it's, I think, got some Dead Space. They've sort of mentioned Dead Space as one of their inspirations for this game as well. I haven't seen any combat with what they've shown so far, but it does look very intriguing, and I'm pretty excited for this one as well.
Yeah, mate, it looks good to me. Yeah, I got the sense that it was going to be a lot more story-based than action-based. I could be wrong. Maybe it was just the trailer, but that's how it came across, especially, as you said, mate, with those two heavy hitters of actors coming in. You would hope there was a lot of performance capture and cutscenes.
I think so. They did say there's been a lot of performance capture and stuff for this game as well, both body-wise and voice-wise. I think I spoke to Troy Baker was there Roger Clark, and they said they got very physical when it came to some of their motion capture stuff in some of their scenes. So I'm looking forward to how that sort of translates to the actual game itself.
Fantastic. And next up is Routine. Unky Dunky, I'm blanking on this one altogether. Remind me. Routine?
From what I remember, this was like a first-person horror game that looked very atmospheric and stuff. From what I see, there wasn't a whole lot of gameplay shown, but it looks very horror-centric and stuff, which is right up my alley. So from what I saw, I was quite excited for it, but they didn't show a lot.
Do you think as what the fifth space horror game in the showcase, they were upset with their name of calling it Routine?
Possibly. It's the routine game compared to the rest of them, but it just went to show on that space and horror was definitely the theme of games at the moment.
Indeed it is. All right, then that brings us to Stormgate. Very Diablo looking, I felt.
I can't remember a whole bunch of this. Bully, do you remember much of this one?
Oh, let me go. That was the one with you're fighting demons in a mech, I think.
Yeah.
Was that the one? It didn't really do a lot for me. I think it was another isometric one, if I remember off the top of my head.
Oh, not sure of the angle. Let me just scrub forward here in the footage. See if I can get that actual gameplay.
I vaguely remember the trailer was actually quite cool, but then the gameplay itself was more of a RTS style, isometric view from one memory.
Now this is the one though that you can sign up for the beta now for, if you like.
Yeah. Is it just on PC Steam for the demo?
Yeah, I think it was one. You can either play 1v1 or 3v3, like it's a PvP game, as is to my knowledge, which is probably what lost a little bit of interest in me.
Perfect. All right, next up, High Water, Unky Dunky.
I can't remember much about this one. I'm going to say move along.
Very good. Goat Simulator 3. Who doesn't love a bit of Goat Simulator action? I can tell you it's a big hit with my boys in this house.
Nice. This was funny because I remember watching this trailer going, this is give me very reminiscent vibes of the Dead Island 2 trailer that we got of the guy going through the city. And I think they even mentioned it in this article. It looked like Dead Island, but then they sort of fooled us all and it was, Goat Simulator 3. Did we even get a Goat Simulator 2? I don't think we did.
I've no idea. No, you're right. My boys just play Goat Simulator unless maybe it's like the second Goat Simulator, but they didn't name it, too. Like, gosh, I can't even think of another game now that's number 2 and isn't called number 2, but you know what I'm saying.
I don't. Yeah, I just in this article, of course, it says there is no Goat Simulator 2, and calling it Goat Simulator 3 just makes sense.
Fair enough.
There you go. Because I remember watching this one, I don't remember there being a Goat Simulator 2, but there you go. It looks stupid. It looks fun. It's Goat Simulator. We know what to expect.
Very good. So good. All right. And then now, if I remember rightly, is it you, Bully, that's keen for Marvel's Midnight Suns?
I like the look of it. I guess one of the things that I questioned was because Sony obviously owns the right to Spider-Man, whether because I think this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a multi-platform release, whether it's going to be in whether Spider-Man's going to be in any of the other versions.
He's definitely, because they did show him in this trailer, didn't they?
So that was my question: is that going to be a Sony exclusive character, or is that going to be across the board? And then sort of how does that work? But do have a bit of interest in that. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it give off sort of the vibes for the those old isometric sort of Marvel games back in the early 2000s.
Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, like that mixed with the XCOM, I think. What I think was strange about this showing at the show was that they actually didn't give us any gameplay. And I know there was a few things afterwards. They had extended looks after the show that actually showed gameplay for the game, which is what most people wanted to see, which I thought was weird because we had already seen a cinematic showing of this game, I think at E3 last year, or it might have been a PlayStation showcase or something that we saw. So it was weird to show another cinematic thing for this when people just all they wanted to see what the actual game looked like. But I could see it doing well. It's Marvel.
Well, the only other thing with that though is you obviously had the Marvel game that was done by Square Enix that tanked, and I'm just a bit concerned about exactly what you said, that they basically showed very little to no gameplay at the actual event there, as to whether they're hiding something from us, knowing that it's not really up to snuff, and we might be let down again.
Was there a story going around? I'm relatively confident that isn't there some sort of card mechanic in this, Hearthstone, what have you style? I believe there's a card type system. Am I the only one that thinks that?
It might be. I haven't seen it, but I do know that it does lean heavily on sort of turn-based stuff and more of that XCOM combat. So I'm not sure about the card stuff, but that it wouldn't feel out of place there. I wouldn't have thought.
I'm pretty sure there's cards in it, and that's why I thought of you, Bully. I know you like your Hearthstone, mate.
About the whales there.
Next up, the very excellent-looking Cuphead's DLC, Delicious Last Course. Steve, what did you think of it, mate?
I do like the fact that the Delicious Last Course is DLC in its own with the Delicious Last Course. It's a very clever way to do their DLC for it. But I never actually finished Cuphead, and it's to my detriment because I do love the art style and do love the gameplay. It was just so hard for me, and I just couldn't put that much time into trying to defeat one boss. Maybe I'll go back there, but the DLC does look really cool.
Obviously, I couldn't even get up to the first boss, but I can tell you my wife's actually significantly better at it. She's cleared the first 2 bosses, I believe, and she is pumped for this. And the other shout out, sorry, quickly, if you live in the Melbourne area, if you go to Acme at the minute, it's free entry. If you've got kids, take them along. It's fantastic. They've got a whole video game section, but they have a kind of like if you imagine what are they called? Like a chocolate fountain, if you know what I'm talking about, like the, big stack. And it's like a spinning statue, but they put it under a strobe light just to show off the animation effect. It is worth going into Acme just to look at this one display. It's fantastic. If you can get into Acme in Melbourne, go and see the Cuphead exhibit. It's phenomenal. There's a bunch of other cool stuff there as well, but that's a real highlight. Sorry, Unky Dunky, back to you.
No, that's all right. I think we'll move on to the next couple of games, but Honkai Star Rail, I think we will move along, and then Zenless Zone Zero, we will move along.
Very good.
TNMT Shredder's Revenge, we've already talked about it, so we can move along. One Piece Odyssey, unless any of you have anything else to say, I think we can move along.
No, nothing from me.
Saints Row Boss Factory, we have talked about. That was announced and we've played it and given impressions. Move along. Nightingale's the next one that looked kind of cool.
Yes, I thought it was going to be a story about the protagonist from Hunger Games. Apparently I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, you're wrong. This game did look quite cool. Bully, did you have any notes on Nightingale?
I do. It's just that open world crafting survival game. I think that was sort of the angle that it was heading for. Looked quite good, I thought. Be interesting to see how it plays. It might be one to just hold out for a few first impressions on, I think.
Agreed. And what do we have next? We had Layers of Fears, not Layer of Fear, which is, I think, being made by Bloober Team, which gave us the Medium, was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they're working on Silent Hills as well. So there was, I think, a cinematic trailer for this. I could be down for that. I love my horror games. I know you guys, if you do play it, we're playing in the at probably midday, around 12, 1 o'clock during the day.
Yep, preferably during summer as well.
Yeah, nice. And then we had Gotham Knights, another showing of Gotham Knights. The more I see of this game, the less I seem to be compelled to play it. I don't know. I think I will definitely play this game and enjoy it, but the more and more I see of it, the more it seems like a generic kind of Avengers-y style experience. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. The more I see of it, the less excited I am. I think after the last one, I went from an 8 to a 6 in the anticipation category. This took me from a 6 to about a 5. If they take much longer to release it, I think I might give it a miss altogether.
Yeah, so I thought that. You look at it, but I know when it comes out, I'm probably going to play it and I'm probably going to enjoy it. But the way it showed recently compared to its first showing, it just seemed very underwhelming and sort of very old school, like 2 years ago kind of gameplay. Like, it's not the kind of game I want to play. And if I'm not Batman, I'm like, how compelled am I going to be to play it? If it was this kind of gameplay and I'm Batman, I'm going to play it. But the fact that they're touting the fact that Batman is dead, let's face it, he's not dead. Like, there's no way Batman's dead in this storyline. I'm calling it right now.
I'm gonna go controversial. I'm gonna say they're ripping off the Marvel multiverse thing. I reckon Batman's dead, but then they're going to open up a tear to a new dimension, and another Batman's going to come through. That's my wild speculation.
Either way, you're going to see Batman there. Whether he becomes playable, I don't know, but I think that breaks the game because the fact that you're touting as all these, you're supposed to be playing as all these other heroes other than Batman, really diminishes the fact if you then go ahead and put Batman in it, and then all they're going to want to do is play as Batman. So
Yeah,
I
and
can
it's
see it just
online
being part of the story.
multiplayer. So when they do
Yeah.
finally add Batman, everyone's just going to want to play Batman.
Exactly. So I just don't see it happening. So which is kind of a bummer. But again, I can see why you wouldn't put him in it. But again, if you put him in it, that's the character I'm going to want to play as. So yeah, I don't know. It's still due out this year. We'll see. October 25, it's coming out. Well, yeah, whether we play it or whether we enjoy it, that's another question.
If it's in Game Pass, I'll certainly give it a look. Other than that, they'll be waiting for a sale. Oh, The Last of Us Part 1. Surprise, big finish here for the show. Unky Dunky, what were your thoughts?
Well, you say surprise, but it wasn't really a surprise because it got leaked on Twitter before the show. So, and they did point that out, and they did sort of make fun of it. But again, this is one of those ones like we sort of knew it was coming. We know it's going to be good. It's The Last of Us. They're remaking it, but kind of an underwhelming showing, I think. I think they showed a cool trailer where it was just a one-for-one what the trailer looks like with the new graphics and what they're doing. But what I really want to see is I want to see the gameplay. I want to see what's different about the actual game itself and what's giving me a reason to actually play Last of Us again, because it's remastered, which gives it 60 frames, 4K graphics, and it looks good to play, still feels good to play. What are they giving us that's actually going to make this game worthy of a second playthrough? Or, sorry, I should say a 15th playthrough.
Well, what I love, man, was they spoke to your point. Last time we talked about it, you suggested, what if they bring the stealth mechanics from 2 back into 1? And I said, what a great idea. That's exactly what they said they're doing on stage, mate. So will that be enough to pull you back in? Just the updated stealth mechanics from 2 in 1? Is that enough?
It will. I'm not going to stand here and say and pretend like I'm not going to play this game, because 100% I'm in this game day one. 100%, and I know they're going to do things with gameplay that I think will, elevate the game to new levels and stuff like that. But I just want to see, I'd kind of like to see an integration of the DLC they brought out into the actual main game itself, as opposed to something separate. They have said it is, being remastered as well, but I would like to see it incorporated in the game and give us sort of a different experience as what we're used to. I don't want to just see a cookie cutter. This is this part. This is this part. I want to see it sort of one cohesive product, and I don't know if that's what we're going to get. And I think there's sort of scope for them to do that. They did also speak about their new multiplayer game they've got coming, which has probably got me more excited because of what it's sounding like is a division in the Last of Us space, and that's gets me really excited.
Did you get into the original? And I'm blanking on I want to say it's Frontiers, and I know that's not what it was called. What was the original? Factions. Thank you. Did you get into that originally? And it's more of the same, I understand.
Yeah, I did play Factions a fair bit, and I did play it for quite a while, and it's one of those modes that it can get very hard, and if you're not playing it constantly, then a lot of players are going to get a lot better than you very quickly. From what I took away from this thing is that the new multiplayer stuff they're doing is getting bigger and bigger what they're doing, and I think it is going to be more, they've gone on to, they've got its own story and all that kind of stuff, and they showed off as just an art sort of shot of what the concept of as a game, and it's feeling like it might be more of a Division style experience where you've got a single player story within the Last of Us sort of world where you're not playing as Ellie or that, but you've got this story going on, you're picking characters, and then hopefully you've got some co-op, and then you've got your Dark Zone style PvP stuff as well. So I'm hoping that's kind of what we're seeing, and I think the fact that they're not going to tell us even more, I think they even said during the show that we're not going to find out more about this game until this time next year as well. The fact that it's not even going to come out before then, I think this game is much bigger than what we're thinking it's going to be.
I was reading online, man, about how they've aged up Ellie a bit, like a couple of years. Instead of looking like she's 9 now, she kind of looks like she's 13 or whatever. But I haven't seen anyone talking up how they've aged up Joel. I reckon they've taken him from, what was he originally, like 40 something, I think.
Yeah,
if you look at the new Joel, he looks like he's almost 60 in my eye.
Yeah, I don't know about 60, but he definitely does look older, and I have seen articles about him looking older as well, and that it's a bit more realistic to what he's been through and all that kind of stuff, and to age him up to look more like Last of Us 2. And even Tess, there's like some videos out there of what Tess looks like during the game, and even she looks probably 10 years older than what she is in the first game, which is more of a testament to what they've been through in the game and their experiences and stuff, and that they would have been much more aged and look like this. So, no, I don't mind them looking old. and it does look really
How
cool.
about this for an idea, man? They're trying to make The Last of Us 2 fit better, so they're trying to age them both up in number 1, so when you go to number 2 and he's not really, we won't go into it, but Joel's not the main character of number 2. I was wondering, do you think they aged him up in number 1 so it was more like, oh, well, I don't want to play with the 70-year-old version of Joel. How slow would he be? It makes more sense then to jump to Ellie as the main character. No? What do you think there? Wild, crazy thought?
Yeah, potentially. I think playing the game, I don't think he's going to seem as old as what you think you are, what he looks in some of these scenes. I think they're going to find that balance of what he's supposed to look like in that time period, and I think it is going to be the perfect way to play this game as Joel, potentially mainly as the main character, as you don't very much get to play him in number 2. And you do obviously get to play Ellie, and they've sort of hearkened more to the fact that she does look like her real life actor in the second one, and so they're sort of bringing that more into the first one as well. So I don't mind what they're doing there with the graphics. I just hope the gameplay sort of stands up to what The Last of Us 2 was, which I think they're going to do anyway.
Yeah, I reckon Naughty Dog will smash this one out of the park. I'm quietly comfortable and confident in this being a real top-notch release when it does come out. Now, is that the end of the Summer Games Fest, I believe?
That was. Bully, any thoughts on Last of Us?
Oh, probably much the same as you guys. I know there was a lot of criticism about the graphical upgrade online. I don't see it. I thought it looked pretty good, to be honest. And in terms of the replay value, I think they've dropped out the faction side of it, so it's just single player, which might give me the opportunity to get a platinum in this one, because I certainly wasn't going to do it in the original or the remastered one.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the trophies for this one, because I think if it's anything like Last of Us Part 2, which I platinumed quite easily, I think I can see myself doing it Part 1.
Yeah. So my only other issue with this is the price on release. If the indications are it's going to be a full price release, I know that there's more work gone into it. I know it takes time, and they've done the upgrades and all the rest of it. I just really can't see how you're justifying a full price game for what is essentially a remake of a 10-year-old game.
Yeah, I won't be jumping in at full price. How about you, Unky Dunky?
You can answer that for me.
Now, if you fellas look on screen, you'll notice how I've grabbed a freeze of them on set. Can you both see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's my question to you. Did Jeff Keighley get the discount, or did Microsoft, as we go to the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, note it's the exact same production facility they were recorded at?
It's the same studio. I did notice that.
I want to know which one of those guys got the discount, because you know one of them got a massive discount for the other guy paying for the bump into that set. The Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase, Unky Dunky, mate. What can you tell us?
Mate, I can tell you that it opened with Redfall, and for a game that I wasn't overly excited about when it was first announced at E3 and stuff, and we got the trailer for it, this, I thought, showed really well. I was more intrigued about this game and wanting to play it than... And was more disappointed the fact that it had actually been delayed than I had been, because it actually looked really fun. Like, I don't mind Bethesda's games being like your Dishonored and Deathloop, sort of. But this looked like a combination of all those games, but it looked really fun. And I really like the graphic style of it. I like the fact that it plays similar to Borderlands, where you can play it single player or you can bring in multiplayer aspects to it and bring in different characters and stuff. I really like the art style and I really like the gameplay from what I saw. I'm not sure whether you guys were similar to me, but I thought it showed really well.
Super pumped for this game. Go, Bully.
Shoot. Look, I thought it, I agree with you. I think it showed pretty well. I'm just a bit standoffish with some of their recent releases, to be honest with you.
Fair call. I think you mean Deathloop with that one, but it does. The thing I did like about Deathloop was its art style and art direction. I think it did that really well, and I think that's what I like about this so far. It does kind of have that distinct art style and art direction that I think I will enjoy about this game, and I think being the fact that it is more about the gameplay and shooting and more of a Left 4 Dead experience. I think hopefully it gets rid of the nag screens and the loading and everything about Deathloop that we didn't like. And I think this hopefully is the gameplay that we like, but without all the extra shit that we don't like. As I said, I thought it showed really well. It got me excited to play the game, and it was in a place where I wasn't actually excited to play the game, but now I am.
I'm right there with you, man. The one big swing and a miss that I saw from this, they showed the trailer. As you said, man, got me hyped for the game. I wasn't really interested in the game at all before this showcase, but once I saw this trailer, I was in hook, line, and sinker. The one big disappointment for me is it's set in Massachusetts, and during the entire thing, I never heard one Massachusetts accent. One of the best parts about playing like the old Assassin's Creed Origins or any of them, it's that you can immerse yourself in the culture, in the sort of cityscape that you're in, because everyone around there looks and feels like they fit in. Yet in this, Redfall, I didn't hear one Massachusetts accent. I heard, what was there? British, and gosh, there was pretty much every accent under the sun except a Massachusetts accent. So it looks like just from this trailer that I fear they've really missed an opportunity to immerse the player in the actual environment of Massachusetts. I hope they've got a lot of characters in there with that accent. I don't know if you boys know or care about the accent side of it, but for me, that was a red flag on Redfall.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the accent and stuff, but I have heard one more thing that sort of could be a detriment to the game, which is the fact that if you are playing multiplayer in this game, that the progress only carries over for the host of the game. So if you're doing those campaign levels, then you do have to go back to your own game. Yes, your character progression carries over and whatever you unlock for your character, but you have to go back to your own game and then play your campaign. So, I mean, it's not as egregious as you think it is. Destiny does the same thing. Like, I've gone through and played Destiny with you, Troy, and done campaign missions, then had to go back and play them solo as well, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. So you would like to see something like that maybe alleviated before launch. But, yeah, that's just one little gripe that I've had since they've shown this gameplay footage.
Yeah, fair call. Fair call. What was next on the ticket?
High on Life. This was my surprise of the show. I actually think High on Life looks really
Hold
fun.
on, mate. Sorry, did we jump over Hollow Knight Silksong?
Oh, sorry. No, you did. We did. Sorry. I've scrolled down too far. Hollow Knight Silksong, the sequel to, well, it doesn't matter because it's not coming out this year, apparently, because it wasn't even shown on their games coming out within 12 months, which I find strange considering this whole thing was set around games coming out in the next 12 months. So yeah, there's the sequel to Hollow Knight, Silksong. A lot of people are excited for it. I enjoyed Hollow Knight, never finished it, but yeah, we'll see if this game comes out in the next 12 months. I don't think it will.
I think you're on the money on that one. All right, and then, of course, now I'll get in early and say my game of the show, High on Life, Unky Dunky. What do you got for us?
I'm glad you said so, because this game lit me up. I loved the look of this game. I thought the humor. I really loved the VR game they brought out.
Yep.
Like, it's the guns that are talking to you. I thought the gameplay looks fun. I thought the premise was different enough that it's actually bringing something different to the first-person shooter genre.
Yep.
And I watched the extended gameplay stuff on the extended Xbox showcase and stuff. This game's really lighting me up, and I'm glad we're getting it this year as well.
Bully, did you have any thoughts on High on Life, mate?
Oh, I hate to be a downer. It didn't do anything for me. It just reminded me of it really reminded me of a maybe late 90s, early 2000s try hard sort of thing. It may turn out to be a completely fantastic game, but it just really didn't hit the mark for me.
Fair enough, man. I know it certainly spoke to me. It sounds like it did for you, Unky Dunky, as well. We'll keep our eyes on that one. I'm keen for it, though. Keen for it. Next up, Steve, Riot Games doing a big reveal. Are we going into it or are we moving on? Are there any Riot Games players here?
There's no real Riot Games players here. I think the fact they are coming to Games Pass was a massive showing for them, because I think they do have some of the biggest games going around with like League of Legends, and they've got Valorant and all that stuff. So they are massive games on the PC, and the fact they are coming to Xbox and obviously Game Pass, I think is a massive announcement. So.
Are you sure they're coming to Xbox? I think they're just coming to Game Pass on PC, mate. I don't think there's anything for the console in this announcement.
If you look at this as these games technically free to play, Locked Agents cards and champions will become purchases when it arrives to Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, but I believe it's just Game Pass PC for this one. I'm relatively confident all 5 Riot games are PC exclusive.
I'll take your word for it.
Relatively confident on that one. All right, next up, A Plague Tale Requiem.
Woo! Have you played
takers?
Plague's Tale Innocence, I think it was the first one?
No, I have not. Coming to Game Pass soon, though, I believe.
I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass. It's one of those ones I've looked at a dozen times and thought, I've heard great things about it. I should play it. And then something distracts me and I just don't get to it.
Oh, please play it. It's one of the better games I've played in terms of these third-person action adventure games. It is really well done for a budget title, and I'd say that in inverted commas because it doesn't come across as a budget title at all. It looks really good. It runs really well. It's got really good stealth mechanics, got a really good story, and from what I've seen in this one, it's got got the Last of Us 2 vibe where they've upped the ante on the stealth mechanics and stuff like that as well. It's Hellblade 2 style of bringing the genre forward in that game, and I can't wait to see this game. The first one was really good. If you can get on the first one on Game Pass, play and finish that one. Chuck it on easy, do what you have to do, but the story is really good. And from what I saw of number 2, like 10 hours.
Okay.
So not massive, but from what I saw of number 2, it's looking really good, and it's just enhancing what is already a very good game. So yeah, play the first one, and definitely looking forward to the sequel.
Nice. I love it. Oh, and then, man, visual highlight of the show, Forza Motorsport. Who doesn't like their ray tracing now? What did you think of it, Unky Dunky?
Oh, mate, this looked really cool. Like, I literally, as of just before going live tonight, I was playing some Forza Horizon just because I was thinking about the whole Forza Motorsport stuff that we've just seen. And if you can look even half as good as Forza Horizon, then we're in for a treat. And from what I've seen from this gameplay, it looks even better than that graphically. For me, I'm not sure whether I'm going to play a lot of it, being the fact that it's more of a sim-based racing game. And I really do enjoy the open world sort of and off-road stuff of the Horizon stuff. But, it's on Game Pass, so I'd be mad not to give it a go.
Indeed, you would.
I reckon one of the things that I thought it was quite cheeky in there, the damage physics was a bit of a slap in the face to Sony and Gran Turismo.
I think so too. I did notice that. I was thinking, as soon as they're showing damage, they're going, "Yep, we got you, Gran Turismo." We don't, Gran Turismo don't like to damage their cars.
I don't think it was even that they were showing the damage. They were doing close-ups and sexy screenshots of it, I think.
Yeah, I think they knew exactly what they were doing.
What about coming in here, Unky Dunky, and giving the proper, the steering wheel setup a go? How about that?
Oh, we'll give that a go. We know how good I am on that steering wheel, Troy.
Oh, yeah. Natural skill coming through, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out on the channel. It's amazing. Oh, wait, we never posted that video. You can't check it out. Take my word for it. Unky Dunky's amazing at it. All right, next up we had Microsoft Flight Simulator. Woohoo!
Yeah, the gigabyte sync on your console. If you can afford those gigs on your console, then feel free to give Microsoft Flight Simulator a go. I don't know if it runs the best on an Xbox, so it's more of a PC thing. Any of you guys have anything to say?
Just quickly mention that still on the console version of the game when it boots up, it's got the mouse cursor like top left, 0, 0 on the screen until you move it, and then it's like, oh wait, I'm in console mode, but it still boots up clearly in PC mode, which I find ludicrous months and months after release. Then what did we have? Overwatch 2. Either of you big Overwatch players? I'm not sure. Unky Dunky, yourself?
When the game first came out, I was really into it, only because I watched a lot of the pre-release videos and cutscenes they had of all the characters, which really got me into it. And I thought that was some of the best bit about Overwatch was the character development, I'll say, just in those cutscenes that made me really want to play the game. And I played it for a bit, fell off pretty quickly just when it came to, time sync and what you had to do and the loot box system that I had initially with this game, which I think's gone for number 2. I think they've gone to a free-to-play model now where it's not quite as egregious when it comes to the loot box system. So I can see the gameplay and stuff getting to me. Again, multiplayer stuff's really hard for me to get into these days, just in terms of the time it takes to get into these games and the skill level of the players you're playing against that are playing it on a day-to-day basis. But I do enjoy the art style. I do enjoy the gameplay, so I can see myself giving it a go when hopefully we get the old Game Pass on October 4 for early access.
Oh, exciting. What about you, Bully? Were you into the Overwatch one, mate?
Oh, look, not at all. I think, as Steve said, the time sink that you've got to put in to be able to get anyway halfway decent. It's the same with all the Call of Duties and stuff like that with the multiplayer. I don't have the time to be able to invest into it, nor the desire to invest in it, to be honest with you. So I sort of pass on those sort of online shooters.
Fair call, mate. Fair call. Moving on then. Ara History Untold.
Speaking of moving on.
Okay, you said it. I'll do it. Next up, the Elder Scrolls Online High Isle.
I know Bully recently installed the Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, I haven't played that one yet. I've been doing a bit of Fallout 76. I know we're going to discuss some Bethesda games later on, but can we stop with this and just release a mainline proper game?
Agreed. Quick question. Does anyone know if High Isle is included in Game Pass, or do you have to pay, $50, $60?
I think you have to pay for that. I think the only one that's included is the Morrowind one from memory when I was looking.
Very good. Well, I'll be moving on then. Fallout 76. Speaking of moving on, did anyone want to stop here for any reason?
I mean, Bully said he's been playing it recently. I did enjoy Fallout 76. Like back in the day when I played it. I haven't reinstalled it recently, but the Pit was one of my favourite expansions back in the day for the old Fallout 3, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's what it was originally on. Again, as I said, I've just been playing through it in the last couple of weeks, and all it does is make me miss the mainline games. I want them, bring them back. Stop with this nonsense, please.
I'm right there with you, mate. Next up, we have, briefly discussed earlier, Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels DLC. Colour me excited.
Yep, can't wait. Already spoken about it. It looks really cool from what they've shown, and definitely going to get me back into Forza Horizon 5, which is pretty soon. I think we've got the Hot Wheels in July, so we're just around the corner.
Exciting times. Waiting to see the price tag, hoping it's not too big. Then we had Arc 2.
Vin Diesel riding a T-Rex, that's all I'm going to say.
All right. Bully, nothing about Vin Diesel or the T-Rexes?
Well, nothing about Vin. No, I had enough of The Rock in the Summer Games Fest and his little appearance, so we can move on from there.
What, you didn't like your 3 paid inserts?
Where he talked about his energy drink and his Iron Palace and Black Adam. That was about it.
I know that wasn't E3, but that was up there with some of the worst of the E3.
It was up there.
I am such a huge Dwayne Johnson / The Rock fan, but that was a real low watermark. I thought that was drop in.
Egregious. It was definitely egregious.
But anytime he's doing another film, sign me up. I can't wait to see Black Adam. When's that coming out? Soon, I hope.
Soon.
Then we have Scorn. Scorn, anyone?
I like the look of this. This looks like it's a first-person shooter with disgusting-looking guns. It reminds me of the very first Prey game from back in the day, which I really enjoyed as well. But no, this is coming to Game Pass, and I am happy about that because it's not that far away. October 21, first-person shooter, disgusting. It looks cool. It looks gross. I can't wait to play it.
Perfect. Then we have what's that? Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Anyone?
Yeah.
I think that gave me Assassin's Creed vibes a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it did. And it was it also had some Dark Souls vibes with its combat and third-person aesthetic as well. I just think this one looks really cool. It's got a cool graphic style. It's got a cool era that it looks like it's set in. And, I'm looking forward to this one.
Fantastic. Sorry, just fighting with the camera, but it's back. So am I. All right, then we had Minecraft Legends. Anybody?
I don't know about Bully and you, Troy, but this seems like the next evolution of Minecraft Dungeons. I thought we were going to get Minecraft Dungeons 2 as an announcement for this show, but it looks like with Minecraft Legends is the next place they're going, which is a RPG set in the Minecraft world with a sort of a cell shading aesthetic, which I'm not sure if I like compared to their normal aesthetic, but we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to do pretty well, though.
Didn't do anything for me, but I can let you know that I know of one 8-year-old boy and one 6-year-old boy who were ridiculously excited by this one. They are 2 big thumbs up. It was their game of the show. So if you got young kids, maybe you want to check it out. Or
awesome.
Maybe they want to check it out. You know what I'm saying. Then we had Lightyear Frontier.
Not to be confused with Lightyear, the movie, with Buzz Lightyear, because there's no Buzz to be seen in this game. It's not up my alley. It looks like a one of those like things where you got to create your own, world and houses and all that kind of stuff, Stardew Valley style. Not my style at all for a game. I'm not really into this at all.
I'm not interested either, Bully. Any?
No. I think I threw a few hours into some of the those sort of games like Stardew Valley. They just can't keep my attention for more than a couple of hours. Their time sink in those is horrendous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one point of order, just on the Lightyear film, can anybody explain to me why Tim Allen is no longer voicing Buzz Lightyear? What's going on there?
I think they wanted to differentiate the Toy Story Buzz to the real life. You can see the inverted commas going with my hands. Real life version of Buzz Lightyear, so they decided to recast him.
Boo to that. Bring back Tim Allen and you'll get my money. Without Tim Allen, I'm not watching it. I refuse. Next up, though, Gunfire Reborn. Anybody keen for this one?
Because I don't know much about it unless any of you guys have anything to say.
Shoot 'em up, roguelike. Moving on. The Case of Benedict Fox.
This actually looked really cool. This was like a side-scrolling adventure Metroidvania style game with a really cool art style, and I'm down for it.
I hope they got Benedict Cumberbatch to do the voice acting for it.
Cumberbatch. I think you mean Cumberbatch.
As Dusk Falls? Anyone press Dusk Falls?
No, I've seen a lot of this. It's interesting, the concept they're going for the 10 frames per second kind of style of gameplay, immersive kind of thing, kind of like a supermassive game where you make decisions and stuff like that. But the art style and gameplay for me just doesn't quite do it from what I've seen so far.
No, this looks to me like every scene I try to skip in a game. So, no, it does nothing for me. Bully, anything for you, mate?
Oh, it's funny. There's a couple of these that I've got on sale on the PS Store or the Xbox Store from time to time. If you can get them for $5, well worth your time. If not, move on.
Okay, I love it. Someone's positive on it. Well, hopefully, Bully will assign that one to you then when it comes out to report back on G.E.A. Let us know how it feels to the hand. I don't even know how we pronounce this next one, so Unky Dunky, help me out.
Naraka Blade Point. I believe this is a battle royale game on PC at the moment. It's coming to Xbox, and they're releasing some campaign single-player story mode for the first time on the Xbox, and I think it comes June 23 to Xbox Game Pass. So it's out this week. It does apparently have pretty good reviews across the board in relation to its multiplayer stuff, so we'll see how it goes on Xbox, and we might have to give it a quick go, given the fact that it's going to cost us nothing on Game Pass.
Are you saying I need to add this to my list of Let's installs for the week, Steve?
I'm not saying you have to, but you may as well.
Done. All right. Keep your eyes on the channel for that one, folks. It's coming your way shortly. Then, Pentiment?
Another one by Obsidian Games. Didn't really do it for me. Art style and story premise and stuff. I get what they're trying to do. It's Obsidian. They'll tell a good story. You'll get to make some good decisions, but for me, it did nothing for me.
Nothing for me either. Bully, anything on your end?
Oh, a little bit of interest, but I think that's just another one to wait and see a bit more reveal on.
Fair enough, mate. Then we have Grounded. Any interesting Grounded?
I mentioned Grounded earlier, just the fact that it was actually quite good early release, but the fact that we're getting a full release in July this year, I think I'll see myself getting back into this on Game Pass as well. Be, I reckon, a pretty cool game to play co-op as well with a whole bunch of people, potentially you two fine gentlemen. But no, it's a cool game, and I'm glad it's seeing its full release finally in July 2020 with the full campaign.
Perfect. And then we've got what? Shadow Legacy? Airband? I don't know. Shadow Legacy.
Move along.
Oh, Diablo 4. I'm keen. Sign me up.
I'm keen too. It was a weird kind of release thing the way they did it. Like they kind of had a trailer that made me think it was going to be State of Decay 3 initially, the way it launched. And then it was, showing off the Necromancer class for the first time. It was weird. I thought there'd be a bigger sort of fanfare or a bigger sort of showcase around Diablo, but it kind of just dropped then and there. But I actually really did enjoy what I saw. I thought, fresh coming off Diablo Immortal and going back and playing Diablo 2, I really liked what I saw from the gameplay of Diablo 4, and sign me up. I'm there day one.
Yep, I'm there as well. Bully?
Wait and see, I think. I thought it was interesting, though. They didn't... they obviously had it as part of the Xbox showcase, but not coming to Game Pass in any way, shape or form.
Oh!
Yeah, that was strange. It was strange to think, no, not Game Pass, but we'll see if they manage to do that deal before the year is out.
Fingers crossed. Surely they must. Sea of Thieves Season 7. Anything for anyone on that one?
Only the fact that we need to get back into Sea of Thieves, because it's a lot of fun to play co-op, and I really enjoyed the Pirates Life stuff that we've done with that. We'll get back into it. Maybe this, hopefully, I'm pretty sure it's a free update. For Sea of Thieves Season 7, we'll maybe give it a go.
I reckon we should, mate. And I know Aaron's keen for us to get back to the high seas of Sea of Thieves as well. So, Aaron, keep it installed, buddy. We'll get to it. Then we have Ravenlock.
Game Pass day one. Can't remember much about it, to be honest.
Fair enough. Has anything hatched from the Cocoon for either of you?
Cocoon, I believe, was from the previous works of the guys that did Inside and Limbo. It looks intriguing. It's got some cool puzzles and stuff involved in the gameplay. It doesn't look as simple as something like your side-scrolling Inside and Limbo, but no, definitely intrigued by this one. We'll see how it goes come release. Bully, what do you think?
A bit of interest there. I'm not sure I'd like the art style they've gone with as opposed to Inside and Limbo, but again, maybe that's just another one to wait and see a bit closer to release.
Fair enough. We'll keep our eyes on it. Wolong Fallen Dynasty?
Yeah, this one I think could be good. This is obviously by Team Ninja, so the guys that did Neo and obviously Ninja Gaiden and stuff. So this is their next game. So what I've seen, I think it was just a cinematic trailer from memory, but this looked really cool, and I think this could be something really good. The fact they're going a new franchise, and they're moving away from the Neo stuff now as well, because obviously there's a lot of people that do like Neo, but it does segregate a lot of players due to its difficulty. So I'll be interested to see where they go with Wolong Fallen Dynasty. But from what I've seen so far, pretty cool.
Nice one, Bully. Any thoughts, mate?
Pretty similar. I'm interested to see where they go with it, see the new setting, and see if that difficulty's ramped up as it normally is with their games.
Punishing gamers like myself. Then we have, the 3 times Persona announcement. Bully, I'm straight to you, mate. Go, Bully, go.
We've alert. Woo.
That's slightly better than the whale noise, but anyway.
They're pretty much the same.
I think this was the shock of the showcase, to be honest with you. That never would have expected what has predominantly been a Nintendo or a PlayStation consoles to come to the Xbox and to have all 3 of them, starting with Persona this year and then the Persona 5 Royal this year and then the others releasing next year. And Game Pass, hopefully.
Confirmed Game Pass. Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be a day one download for me. Love Persona 5. I think I've spoken in the past with Persona 4 Golden. I've tried to get into that. I just can't do handheld gaming anymore. So for that to come to the big screen for me, and then back to Persona 3, I'll be there through all of them. And I think Persona 5, the original one, I pumped about 100 hours into.
Whoa!
So I have got no doubt that I'll be putting similar time frames into all 3 of those.
I love it. Good work, man. You're the official Persona person. As I understand it, Steve, it's not high on your ticket as it isn't on mine?
I've done about 80 hours in Persona 5 and probably 60 hours in Persona 5 Royal, and I've also played Persona 4 on the Vita for about probably 30 hours. So I've done a bit of Persona, and I do like my Persona. So
I retract my previous statement and I apologise profusely, Steve.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm excited to see these coming to Xbox. I think they're finally hitting that Japanese audience that they need to sort of compete with Sony in relation to their hold on that market.
Indeed.
Just come to the weeb side, Troy. Come to the weeb side.
I'm trying, Billy. I'm trying, believe me. And then we had the very mysterious Hideo Kojima and Xbox partnership. Anyone want to give me a hot take on this one?
It was weird. I mean, we had the announcement that Kojima was working on something that wasn't Death Stranding 2. Troy, what was the name of that game?
Pass.
Oh, you sent me a message earlier this week about it. I can't remember what it was called. But there was another game that was sort of leaked that Kojima was working on.
Oh, Overdose.
Overdose, that's one. So whether that's the game they're talking about or whether it's something else completely, I'd find it hard to believe that Kojima's working on 3 games. So Overdose, I believe, is probably that game that they're probably talking about, and it involved one of the actresses from Death Stranding, which is what he likes to do. He works with actresses or actors that he really likes from previous projects. So I could see it being that, but they were very coy about sort of giving any details on that. It would have been nice in this showcase, other than just have Kojima there, to actually show some gameplay or give us any kind of details in relation to what this game actually is. But it was very nice to see they've gone from giving us Persona in the announcement before to announcing Hideo Kojima project on Xbox alone. So I think they're really sort of trying to hit that Japanese market, which I think is good in terms of the sales of the Xbox brand.
Yep, definitely. Sorry, Bully, unless you had anything for that one, any speculation you want to share?
Oh, well, I think this has been rumoured for a while, so not something totally unexpected. In terms of what he's working on, I'm going to go with a Silent Hill style.
Oh, I like it. I've got no idea what he's going to be doing with them, but it's something to do with their Azure cloud infrastructure. So, online multiplayer game from Hideo Kojima. What was the last one we saw? MGS5. What was that called? The multiplayer mode there. I'm blanking on that.
I know Kojima's always looking for new technology and stuff. That's what he was in about the whole Decima engine when he sort of joined up with the Horizon guys for Death Stranding and the level design there, and then the whole Stranding stuff with the multiplayer integration I had there. So what the cloud stuff does from there, I don't know, but I'm sure we're going to see something wacky out of the mind of Kojima coming to whatever this game might be.
Definitely in 5 or 6 years, whenever it sees the light of day.
Yes.
Speaking of seeing the light of day, not soon, Starfield. Long, in-depth look at Starfield.
Long depth ins. It was a cool showing. I liked what I saw of Starfield. There's been a lot of stuff coming out recently about the whole graphic fidelity and frame rate of what was actually shown and stuff, but I really liked what we saw. It did look very Bethesda when it came to its character interaction and all that kind of stuff. It didn't seem very next gen there, but I think what we're going to get, I think the first person gunplay stuff that we saw was much more expanded upon than what we've seen in your Fallout games and stuff before. They've said, yep, you're going to go to 1,000 different planets and there's going to be procedural generation. A lot of people have sort of said, this is a lot like No Man's Sky and stuff. What's different to No Man's Sky? I think what you're going to see that's different to No Man's Sky is the storytelling that Bethesda's known for and really good at. I think we're going to get that amongst these bigger worlds and gameplay. And I'm excited for this game. Again, I don't know what you're going to show this game that's going to excite people. It's going to be one of those things not to get your hands on and actually start playing the game and being immersed in those RPG mechanics and mining mechanics of all that kind of stuff. They're actually going to sort of get sucked in. So I'm not sure. I'm damned if they do, damned if they don't. They show the gameplay. People are going to be disappointed. But I still think this game's going to be a rock solid game for the Bethesda. And I think delays are only going to make the game run a whole lot better than what we're used to with general Bethesda games in the past.
I'm keen to have a look at it. That UI, to me, just being flat white, just looks like the art department haven't done anything with it. Did that HUD stick out to anyone else's unfinished business?
Yeah, a little bit.
Bully, did it strike you at all? I couldn't get over it.
No, the HUD didn't. I suppose I might have not been paying that much attention to the HUD and more what was going on. But
yeah, fair enough.
I'm not sure whether there's a little bit of, I'll call it cyberpunk hangover. that the game's been touted about for years and years and years and years, and we're finally getting to the point where it's about to be released in the next 6 months or so, and the excitement level having been built up over years has just dropped off now. I don't know whether we're sort of into that space.
For me, from Fallout 76, I refuse to get hyped at all for a Bethesda game. I'm interested, sure, I'm interested, I'll play it, but I am nowhere near hyped or excited for this one. I'm just interested, I will play it, but nothing that I saw there was like, oh yeah, give it to me now. Did anybody get sucked in immediately and want something they saw?
Like, I know that I get sucked in Bethesda games, and Fallout 3 was arguably my favorite Fallout, but then Fallout 4 was sort of like a better looking version of Fallout 3. So I can see where that stuff comes. Base building and stuff has never been a thing for me. The aircraft designing and aircraft building stuff, probably more so than the actual base building stuff, I think is really cool. And the air space combat stuff they showed could be cool. I know they've gone out and said recently that you aren't able to just travel, out of a planet into space into another planet like you can No Man's Sky. Again, that's not the biggest deal. I don't really care. That's just sort of downtime that I don't really need. Like, put me on the planet and let me just enjoy the story and stuff. So that doesn't really bother me at all. But if the moment gameplay is fun and the mechanics are good and the story's good, then I can see myself really getting sucked into this game. But as I said, it's one of those showcases. They had to show gameplay because it's been so long. Whether the game still comes out when it's supposed to, I'm a bit dubious on that because it's already been pushed. I can see it's being pushed even further just due to the fact that Bully brought up the whole cyberpunk stuff. I think they don't want to give people a reason to hate on this game, so I think they're going to delay it until they are actually ready to show it and give us what we're expecting.
Do we know? Have they said is it Xbox One or are they abandoning last gen, so to speak?
I believe it's just next gen.
Well, that's at least a good thing. I think that's probably all we've got to stay on Starfield, unless anybody had final thoughts.
No, that's me done.
All right, then we will move on to Starfield was the end of that presentation. In which case, I want to present to everyone for the first time ever on for the first time ever on the Gaming Enforcement Agency. Excuse me. We need to take a small break. I need to do an active How about I unmute my mic and try that again? Welcome back. That was Active Reload. Before we move off the Xbox Bethesda showcase entirely, just quickly, Bully Steve, were you as disappointed as I was by the lack of personality shown by Xbox/Bethesda? Where was the host? Where was the voice saying world premiere? Like, there was no personality in that whole presentation. Like, yes, they had the C-suite people up there, but we needed something. We needed a Jeff Keighley, someone to just string the whole thing together. I thought it was very lackluster.
I did miss the world premiere stuff going on, but I thought I did enjoy the fact that it was quickly paced, and we went from gameplay to gameplay to gameplay to release date to Game Pass to this. Like, I thought it was well paced, and the fact that we did get what we wanted, and it showed what we were going to be playing within the next 12 months, and it did it very quickly, and it sort of covered a whole breadth of different genres and stuff very quickly. But yeah, you're right. It did sort of lack a little bit of personality.
Bully,
I agree to a little bit, but then by the same token, look at the state of play for PlayStation. That had a little bit of that to a degree, and then there's Summer Games Fest that did that 15-minute Modern Warfare spiel that just went on and on and on.
Oh, I agree. There's that fine balance you got to find.
Yeah, and some of those interviews that they had up on stage, I think could have been cut in half. So I think that I agree with you, Steve, that the fast pace just flicking through, because at the end of the day, to be honest, that's what we're all there for, to see what's coming out, see the gameplay footage. I just want to rip through it.
I do as well, but you fellas may have noticed my attention tends to wander, and if there was at least just someone there pulling me back every day, hey, we're back, we're still doing this, and here's the next thing. I agree. They only need to be in there quick. I'm not saying I want a long monologue from them or something, but I just need some personality to carry me through it. It was lacking. It felt cheap. That's what I'll call it. Cheap. All right. Anyway, next story. This one from GameSpot. Halo Infinite online campaign co-op test begins in July. Here's how to sign up. Unky Dunky, how did the sign-up process go for you?
I haven't signed up yet. I don't think I will. I'll probably just wait till I think August when it actually drops, mainly because of the fact that it would require either yourself or Bully or someone else to sign up as well, which I don't think we can coordinate that well, given our hectic lifestyles. But no, it's good to see that the campaign co-op is finally is here. I think I would really much enjoy playing this game in a co-op setting for my third playthrough. I'm almost finished with my second playthrough. I've just done the most recent update to Halo, which is more of a multiplayer thing, but I'm almost finished my legendary playthrough of Halo and would love to play through again with co-op. So this is fun. I'm happy to see the campaign finally getting its co-op mode, and it's going to be a fun way to play the game, I think.
Steve, I am keen, mate. Sign me up. I'm going to sign up for this test, mate. If you get into it, let's do it on the channel, mate.
Let's do it. I'm signing up tomorrow.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Bully, any interest?
I know I'm going to cop the grief for this. I think the last Halo I played was the first one, and I haven't touched it since.
Fair enough.
You may as well go to sleep, buddy.
Too much doki, I think, maybe.
Only so much time in the day.
All right, then. The next story up is also from GameSpot, and this one is Resident Evil Village DLC at third-person camera mode. I'm looking forward to the little less scares. How about you, Hunky Dunky?
Oh, this lit me up. I like the first-person Resident Evil games, but I prefer the third-person Resident Evil games, and the fact that now we're getting arguably one of the better Resident Evil games, being the most recent one, which I have played through twice and really enjoy the grind and the challenges that game gives you to unlock different weapons and stuff. To be able to play this now properly in a third-person mode, not with I know there's mods and stuff you can do on PC to play this game third-person, but to be able to do this, properly as made by the developers, I think this is going to change the game. I think it's going to make it so much more fun for me to play, and I'm going to definitely play through this game day one, third person, pick up from where I'm up to on my second playthrough, hopefully. I know you do actually have to pay for the DLC to get this update, which I think is a bit strange. I thought it'd be just an update to the game itself, but no, it does come as part of the DLC, because I know the DLC is solely based in third person, which begs the question is, have they finally seen the light and gone, yep, most people do prefer their Resident Evil in third person, and they're going to move away from that first person mode, or give us both going forward through Resident Evil 9, etc. But we did see, obviously, stuff on Resident Evil 4 Remake, and we discussed that, I think, last episode as well, how good that looks. But, yeah, I'm very excited to play Resident Evil 8 in third-person mode. How about you guys?
As I alluded to, mate, I'd love to get back to it and give it a crack in third-person mode. I never New Game Plus. I finished the original and loved it. I'd happily New Game Plus it in third person. As I said, I would find it less scary in third person. But how about you, Billy?
I think I got up to the factory area, which was the near to almost finished.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I quite enjoyed it in the first person mode, which is surprising for me because I normally prefer third person. But I actually didn't mind playing through it in first person. A bit disappointed though. I agree with you, Steve, that tying it to a paid DLC I think is a bit rich, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you could maybe just add that third-person mode regardless of whether you pay for the DLC, but obviously they're trying to sell a product, and I get why they're doing it because, to be honest, I'm I'm going to pay for it. I don't even really, to be honest, feel like playing the DLC just because in third person. It's more so I want to go back to that main campaign and play that in third person. So, I'm going to fork out the cash just to do that.
I would think if they had any confidence in this DLC third person mode, they would have done the main, the core game third person mode free as an advertisement to buy the DLC. That to me would make a hell of a lot more sense from a marketing angle. But the fact that they've gone this way says to me they've got zero faith in their ability to sell the actual DLC, and they can see more sales coming from replaying the main game in third person mode. That's how it reads to me anyway. A very cynical read, obviously.
Yeah, either way, I'm happy to get a third person mode. I don't care how I get it.
Excellent, mate. I'm happy for you. Then we have from IGN, Final Fantasy Remake is now a three-part trilogy. Now, forgive my ignorance, I thought we knew this was a three-part trilogy from the outset. I really feel like that was signaled to us well before the release of part one.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I know that the game is long. Initially, Final Fantasy VII, there was rumours that it might have to spread across 3 games to get the content out in what they're doing. But I mean, it's not the biggest shock in the world. But I think Rebirth is looking like a big, possibly open world version of Final Fantasy VII, which I'm all down for. I really liked in Final Fantasy VII the remake as it was, and if they can expand on that and give us more open world stuff, I'm all for that. I think it's going to be incredible, and they're giving us Cross's core Final Fantasy VII, which apparently is going to come out this winter, which is America, so our summer. So whether we see that before the end of the year, quite possibly as well. But no, this was quite a cool event. There was a lot of Final Fantasy stuff to be said. So if you're a Final Fantasy fan, I think you've got a lot to look forward to.
Yes, I'm excited. Oh God, I've lost the camera again. I'm replaying, not replaying, trying to complete part one for about the third, fourth, fifth. I don't even know how many times I've tried to get in to part one. I know I should love it, and I want to get into it. And I'm actually having a lot of success going back and replaying part one now. So I look forward to it whenever I get around to it, but I certainly won't be a day and date pickup myself. And just a brief time out to say, IGN, God damn, did you guys triple your ad space on the screen? I would put IGN real close to unviewable these days with the amount of ads they got all over the shop.
Oh, there's a lot of ads there. And I won't talk about that, but I will talk about the fact that it wasn't only Final Fantasy stuff. I just want to mention Dragon's Dogma. Capcom actually announced Dragon's Dogma 2 as well in the last week as well. And I love that first game. And I think Dragon's Dogma 2, if they can give that the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment in terms of its graphics and stuff, that game's going to do very well.
It will. Speaking of games that will do very well, Story 7 this evening, this is just me making up a story as I go, but I just wanted to point out to everybody here on the Xbox Store, you can see this, right? Yeah, on the Xbox Store, if you look, you can currently buy for 60 Australian dollars, that's right, 60 of them, full price for a game, if you will, Overwatch 2's Watch Point Pack. Now, if like me going, what the hell? I thought Overwatch 2 was free to play. And what's a Watch Point Pack? Let me just cut to the chase and tell you, they are selling you beta access. That's right. For $60, you can participate in their beta, to which I say, moving right along.
I did see that. I was wondering what it was. So is that, when does the beta actually start? Is it like if you pay that cash, can you start playing Overwatch 2 now or not?
Where is it? Its beta begins June 28th. And
okay, so next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, but you can sign up for free. They're not guaranteeing you access, but you can sign up for free, or you can pay $60 and guaranteed access to the beta. This is just outrageous behaviour to me. I can't believe it. In fact, you know what? I wasn't going to, but I'm going to. If I can find my button.
Do it, Troy. Do it. Infringement notice. I can there's an infringement notice coming.
4-point infringement notice. This is just totally outrageous nonsense. I've told you before, stop pre-ordering games. If you buy this, oh my God, I pity the fool. You must be a bigger whale than Steve. I just don't know how these guys sleep at night. This is just totally outrageous behavior. And yeah, infringement notice earned. You guys are just outrageous. Go away with this nonsense. The next person
get out
of here.
This is as good as the physical version of Fortnite that you open up the case that contains a card to download a game that is free.
Yes.
It's insane. Anyway, so they're on notice. And then, as we always do, we wrap up our news week by going to Game Informer's upcoming releases that are coming out this week. And I can tell you, first off the block is June 21. It's out today, is Fall Guys. The Fall Guys game they gave out for free, new game on PlayStation Plus, 2 years ago? Yes, it's out again and it's free to play. I think it's like Season 7 or some nonsense. Either of you guys interested?
Something like that. No, like I did enjoy it back in the day, but I don't see myself jump back in the fact it's a free-to-play model now. But it is fun. But yeah, I don't see myself playing anytime soon.
Bully, you jumping into this one, mate?
No, I've had my time with that, and same with Steve. Enjoyed it for a little while, move on.
Very good. We're all in the same boat. Then, also June 21st, Shadowrun Trilogy. Now, that's coming out to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and X, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. Any Shadowrun fans here?
Oh, yes. Game Pass, and I've pre-downloaded, pre-installed all three of them.
Oh, nice. Unky Dunky?
I will probably give this a go, given the fact that it is Game Pass. Available June 21, which is today, but I think it's tomorrow for us. So, you will see. Bully, what was the install on that? Do you remember the gigs for that?
It was only a couple of gigs, didn't take too long. But for those that, I think it's an old pen and paper RPG that ended up, I think the first time it was on a console was the SNES. And I put countless amount of hours into that back in the day. So really looking forward to a remake of sorts on that one.
Nice.
Great. If it's real good, Bully, shoot me an SMS or something to let me know to do the install. If you say it's good, I'll do the install. If not, I'll just give it a miss. Next up, we have Wreckfest coming to the Switch. Now, it's been on every other platform. My experience with it was last on PlayStation 5. From memory, even on the PlayStation 5, it had particularly nasty loading time. So I'm not sure how well it's going to run on the Switch. You guys, any thoughts?
Yeah, no thoughts. The game was cool, but yeah, Switch, I don't know how it's going to
run. Bully, is it on your radar?
Well, it's funny you mentioned about running on the Switch because I read an article today that they're having trouble running KOTOR 2, Knights of the Old Republic 2 on the Switch. So if you can't run a 20-year-old game on that, I don't know how you think you're going to run a game like Wreckfest.
Yeah. Good luck to them.
going to be a wreck fest running that game.
Oh, oh, lovely. Next, they may be trying to deliver us the moon with that one, but Deliver Us the Moon comes to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and X on June 23rd. I know nothing. Anybody, can you fill me in, please? What is this one?
I can't say too much on this other than the fact that it got an 8 from Game Informer, so they obviously think it's okay.
Very good, Unky Dunky. Well, you're going there, mate. How about you introduce the next one for me?
Naraka Blade Point, we talked about this earlier. It's that multiplayer battle royale game that's got some co-op stuff going on. I believe it is coming to Game Pass on June 23 as well, so we'll give that a go. It's got good reviews, so yeah, we'll see how we go with it.
In that case, check out the channel for the Let's Install in a couple of days. We'll get it up there. Then we have Sonic Origins coming to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It's coming out everywhere June 23rd. Now, this isn't the Sonic game that people have been asking for a hold on, but Steve, can you tell us anything else about it?
Not much, other than the fact that I don't believe Sonic has human teeth in this video game. So maybe if you enjoy Sonic, give this one a go. But yeah, definitely not the one we've been hearing about recently that needs a delay. But yeah, it's Sonic. You know what to expect. Side-scrolling action adventure. Yeah, I'm not going to play it.
I had a wild thought, Steve, if you can bear with me for a moment. Do you recall us looking at the Sonic Movie 2 Roblox game?
Yes,
Roblox.
Yep.
I had a thought, what's the chance that that open world map that we saw there is in fact the open world one we saw for the Sonic Frontiers, isn't it, the one they want to delay?
Yeah,
it occurred to me looking at that footage recently, I'm like, that world looks awfully similar to the world I saw in Roblox. Obviously a much better resolution of it, but I wonder if that was a really quiet beta test for the upcoming game. I don't know, wild speculation from my side.
It's funny you should say that, because I did see today something on YouTube about some first-person shooter game that looks incredible that's built directly through Roblox as well, that just looked absolutely insane. You have no idea it was actually from Roblox. So it wouldn't surprise me if Roblox did something like that. But yeah, there's a bit of a side note.
Yeah, I don't know. Just keep your eye across it. Maybe go do an A/B comparison yourself with the footage from the Roblox game and the footage from the trailer from Frontiers. Eerily similar when you put them side by side. Maybe I should put that video up. Anyway, next up, Capcom Fighting Collection, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC. Unky Dunky, thoughts?
It's fighting. We've mentioned previously I'm not the biggest fighting game fan, so pass for me.
Bully, anything on this one, mate?
Same boat, I think. Might have a look at if it's on Game Pass, but that's about it.
Fair enough, mate. And I might suggest being Xbox One only, maybe not Game Pass. They only seem to do ones that are XX compatible. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes coming to the Switch June 24. Any Fire Emblem Warriors fans?
Moving along.
What Madison, I'm going to say? PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XX, PS4, Switch, PC, June 24. Anybody? Anything?
I did check out the YouTube trailer for this earlier, just because it looked horror, gave me up my alley, and it does have a PT vibe to it, and I could see myself if this was coming to Game Pass, give it a go, or even if it's like a $29.95 job, giving it a go, because it does have that very eerie sort of atmosphere that I do enjoy in games, and it's got that first person view like PT that I do enjoy as well. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see how we go with this one. I'll report back if it's either A, on Game Pass, or B, cheap.
Very good. Now that must bring us to everybody's favourite segment, if I'm not mistaken.
Who will fight?
Who will fight? Unky Dunky, who will fight this week, mate?
Who will fight, mate? We got the best of Bethesda, which is the best Bethesda franchise. And which one of these games will we most likely want another version of ASAP? And we are mindful that Bully was due to go to sleep 3.5 hours ago. So we'll do our best to get through these quickly. The first on the list of this standoff is Fallout 1, 2, 3, 4, and 76. So yeah, Fallout, obviously one one of the mainstay franchises of Bethesda. Bully, anything you want to say about the Fallout franchise?
Oh, I love Fallout. I actually played the original 1 and 2 CRPG games back in the day, but it wasn't until Fallout 3 that really hooked me into the franchise, and have been hooked ever since then. So I cannot wait, as I said before and earlier on in the show, dispense of the nonsense with the online and give me a single-player game again, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Fallout 3 just did it for me. Like, I remembered, I'd never played 1 or 2, but I remember being at EB Games and getting an early version of Fallout 3 and just playing that and absolutely falling in love with it, and getting Fallout 4, which was just a sort of slightly prettier version of Fallout 3, and even to slightly marginally enjoying Fallout 76 and seeing its iteration over the days. But and I think they've come out and said we're getting Fallout 5 next after Elder Scrolls 5, which God knows how long that's going to take. We've got Starfield and Elder Scrolls before we're even going to get the next Fallout. But yeah, give me the next one ASAP. I love Fallout.
I think we've got about 2 decades worth of G.E.As to do before we get to that game. But I'll just take one quick moment to say, personally, I like Fallout 4 more than I love Fallout 3. I like Fallout 4 more, especially Far Harbor DLC. Absolute high watermark. If you haven't played the Far Harbor DLC, get onto it. You're missing out. Game 2, Steve. Game 2.
We have the Elder Scrolls series, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, and the Elder Scrolls Online. Arguably, probably Skyrim being the pick of the bunch when it comes to all those. For me, Fallout is more of akin to what I enjoy with the guns and all that, except in that stuff. You've got the fantasy stuff of Skyrim, which some people might enjoy over the fact that Skyrim's obviously come out on multiple platforms, including Alexa. Which is quite strange, but yeah, you've got every mode of Skyrim you could possibly play, and it is one of those games that does stand the test of time. It is a very good game. I have finished it. When I say finished it, I've done the main campaign. I know there's a lot more you can do in Skyrim than what I've probably done, but yeah, it is one of those big franchises. Everyone can't wait for the next Elder Scrolls. What are you guys' thoughts on Elder Scrolls?
Bully?
Oh, I put copious amounts into all 3 of those games. Copious amounts of hours. And they've all got their different points on it. I don't think I ever actually did the end of the campaign in Skyrim. I ended up going down so many little rabbit holes with different quests and different areas and all that sort of stuff that I don't think I ever actually saw the end. But funnily enough, I was digging through a cupboard the other day, and one of my kids found an old Nokia phone, booted that up, and funnily enough, Skyrim was on that too.
So that it wasn't just Snake?
No. It was Snake chasing around a dragon.
Oh, yep, Skyrim, Nokia 2310 Skyrim. I like it.
I'll have to go find one of those old dial phones and see if I can find a version of Skyrim for it.
Hey, mate, it exists. Trust me, it exists.
Sorry, I've just thought of a Skyrim game you just dial into and say your voice commands and hang up, and then it rings you back for your next turn. Ridiculous idea. All right. Oh, sorry, from me. I love the Skyrim franchise. I love the Fallout franchise, and I'm still heartbroken from Fallout 76. And as I said, I refuse to get excited about any of their next games until they show it to me. Show it to me, Bethesda. Moving on. Next up, we have Wolfenstein, Steve?
Yep, Wolfenstein, the New Order and New Colossus, and they did Youngblood as well, but from all accounts that was terrible. So we'll pretend that doesn't exist, and we'll just go with Wolfenstein 1 and 2, which were absolutely amazing recreations of Wolfenstein. I remember the first game coming out, and the review embargoes literally didn't go up till the day was actually till the game was launched. So everyone was like, "Oh, this game's got to be terrible." But then, surprisingly, the game was actually really good, and got a really good sequel as well, which is arguably better than the first one. I think this is one of the best revivals of a game we've ever got.
Yeah,
and it's on the list with the next game on the list, which I won't spoil just yet. But it is easily one of the best first-person shooters you can play on an next-gen console if you just want your story-based action first-person shooter games, this is up there for sure. Like I really want, and I know they're working on number 3. I know the same developers working on Indiana Jones as well, and I thought we were going to see something at the Xbox showcase showing us the next Wolfenstein, but I can't wait for number 3 in this series. I really love the story. I really love what they did with it. Even when they cut your head off and you think you're dead, you're not dead. It was just, such good storytelling and a really good gameplay and just really meaty first-person combat action.
Big fan of it myself, man. A lot of those, the one thing I really love from this franchise specifically is those, like the weapon perks where it's, 10 kills of this type and then you unlock a little bit of an upgrade, and they keep sort of doing those like daily challenges from a battle pass kind of thing, but it's seamlessly integrated into the single player campaign. It's part of the base game and I absolutely love it. Big fan of this franchise and very much looking forward to the next one. Bully?
I platinumed the first one, which is probably one of my prouder moments, and that
top
was
effort.
some serious frustration going through that one. But for some reason or another, I'd never jumped into the second one.
Oh, boy! Wow, you need to play it.
Are you sure you didn't just jump in and then get put off by that submarine sequence at the start?
I actually, now that you mentioned, I think I did take that section and then.
Is that where you start you start in a wheelchair?
Yeah, it's like the first 20 minutes of gameplay is so slow. I bounced off it there as well, Bully. So I hear you, my friend. I hear you. All right, Steve. Third game in the Bethesda list.
Yep. As I alluded to before, the Doom 1 and Doom 2 Eternal, these again, this was another one that the embargo for this game went up the day of the launch of the game, so no one knew what they were getting. And I think it was a whole Bethesda thing. They said they weren't going to actually release early codes of the games for their games. I can't remember what it came about. I think they even mentioned at E3 or something that they weren't going to give game codes out early for games. And this was one of the games that was sort of fell party to that. And it was strange. It came out, and then again, the game was really, really good. I am one of the ones that actually preferred Doom 1 over Doom Eternal. As good as Doom Eternal was, I think I preferred the simplicity of Doom 1 without the sort of, as Troy would say, the platforming moments of Doom Eternal 2, where you had to do a fair bit of platforming and stuff. It did sort of break up the gameplay a fair bit, but I kind of did enjoy the pure moment-to-moment gameplay of number 1 and the exploration of the levels more than number 2. But what a franchise. Like, I think we'll probably see a Doom 3 as well, but this is as good as Doom gets. It's furious, it's fast, it's frenetic, it's fun, it's all those F words that you could possibly think of to describe this game. I really enjoy this franchise, and I think they couldn't have done a better job at recreating this game and providing that moment-to-moment gameplay that the original was known for.
From my side of it, mate, Doom was great, the reboot 2016, as you said, but I never finished the first one. But Doom Eternal, I went through and finished easily, and I can't even remember now what it was specifically, but it was something about the waypointing system. I kept getting lost in number 1 and not, chasing my tail and, where am I meant to go? I don't get it. I got lost real quickly and it threw me off. But Doom Eternal, I don't know how they fixed it. It's not coming to my mind, but I was never lost in Doom Eternal. Or if I was, it was a brief amount of time, and I was able to follow, the campaign really straightforward and get through it all a lot easier. So Doom Eternal for me was a much improvement, but I love both of them. Bully, what was your take?
Can't give you a take. I haven't played all.
Dude, Bully. You got so as soon as we finish up this, apart from sleeping, you need to download Wolfenstein 2 and Doom.
I think I've got them sitting in the collection. I just have. I'll be honest. Doom's not. I know the accolades are there, and it's a very highly rated game. Just the setting is not up my alley. That's probably the one thing that's put me off it.
Fair enough, mate.
No, that's fair enough. All right, speaking of games you need to download, let's go to the next 2 Bethesda games.
Here we go. The Evil Within 2 is rolling now. Hunky dunky.
Evil Within 1 and 2. I've spoken over the past few weeks in my games interrogation how much I've gone back to these old games and how good they are. And there is that question of, which game do I most like to see another one of the series as soon as possible? This is probably it for me because I just love this franchise. I know they went on to did Ghostwire Tokyo, and which did start out as Evil Within 3. But I would just love to see another one of these games. I just think they're almost the perfect blend of horror, third-person action games that the Resident Evil games are trying to do. And I just think this is just the feedback on the shooting. I think the storytelling, or just the moment-to-moment gameplay of this game, and just what they do with different levels, and they play with your expectations over and over again. I just think this game just does it so well, and I just love to see a next-gen version of this game. So for me, this is one of my favourite Bethesda franchises in games. I remember seeing the pop for Evil Within 2 when they first announced that, and I was just couldn't believe that we're getting a sequel to the game, and the fact that it came out and it was such a good game and such a expansion on the previous game and its gameplay and stuff. Yes, the first one's got like a cult following, but I think the sequel really did elevate the gameplay and stuff to a more general audience, and I think more people need to play it, especially if you're into Resident Evil games. I think if you play this game, you'll absolutely enjoy playing the game, especially if you're Troy and Brewery playing this game at midday or 1 p.m.
I was about to say, Steve, I have not touched either of the Evil Within games, much to your dismay or disgust. I'm not sure. What about you, Bully? Did you ever
It's disgust. It's disgust, Troy. It's definitely disgust.
How'd you go, Bully? You've given these a look in, mate?
Oh, yeah, I've put a few hours into the first one, obviously, I think that's sitting on my shelf as well, number 2, but without having finished the first one, I never popped the second one in. But it's one of those ones that is just sitting on an ever-increasing backlog of, I want to go back to it and play it, and I just can't seem to get any traction on getting through those ones sitting on the shelf.
I hear that, man. Elden Ring is still calling you. I'm pretty sure Elden Ring's on top of that list, isn't it? Backlog for you, Bully, I mean.
Oh, I think there's a little one called Doki Doki Literature.
Oh, of course. Of course. I don't mean to step on your Doki Doki time.
Well, and then we've got Catherine Full Body.
Oh, Catherine. Now, there's a game I suck at but really wish I was better at. That game speaks to me on some level. All right, next up we have, what do we got, Steve? Dishonored, the Dishonored franchise.
Dishonored 1 and 2. Again, game. I've never finished 1 or 2 of the Dishonored games, and I know they are, renowned as some of the best games going around. And they've won plenty of game of the year stuff. I've never fully gotten into them. I do enjoy the stealth mechanics and stuff they do bring. I like their art style. I like the levels they bring in there. Some of the best levels I've played, or one of the best levels I've played, was a robot mechanic level where the world actually changed around you as you played. But this is one of those ones. It is literally lauded after by the people that do love it. I just myself haven't fully gotten into it, but I can see why people absolutely love it. It's one of those immersive sims where, you can play the game however you like. There's multiple ways to defeat the bad guys, multiple ways to get your way through from part A to part B. It's something that's never spoke to me, but I know a lot of people do enjoy this franchise.
Yeah, it never did it for me, mate. I'm pretty confident that Dishonored franchise falls into that bucket for me of games that if you bother to read their nag screens, like it might make sense, but because I skip all their rubbish, the gameplay just never made sense. I couldn't get to the advanced gameplay without having to read something, and I got better things to do than be reading, like playing games. So the Dishonored franchise never did it for me. How about you, Billy?
Put a lot of time into both of them. As you said, that you can play both ways. You can either go in guns blazing, you can do it stealth. You've got powers that you can use that warp you across the screen. You can control rats to go and attack enemies, stuff like that. Spoke to me a lot. Every time I've gone through and tried to play it, I've tried to do the stealth, don't kill anyone version of it, to try and get the trophy that way. I end up lasting about 2 levels, I think, and then just going higher. But bugger it, let's just start killing everyone. But really enjoyed it. The setting's fantastic. The powers you've got are fantastic. I really enjoyed both of them.
Great, man. High praise. I love it. Next up on the Bethesda games is Rage and Rage 2, Unky Dunky.
Rage and Rage 2, yeah. I really enjoyed the first Rage game, and I really enjoyed the Rage 2 game. I just thought it sold itself a little bit short, just given the fact that it was building off the first game, but it kind of, it probably had better gameplay. I just don't know if the story was there. And it also didn't look the best for a game that probably should have been running it at least 1080p and 60 frames per second. I don't think it ever ran at 60 frames per second, which for me was a bit of an oversight. Very colourful, or the sequel itself is very colourful, very stylistic and stuff, but I think I did prefer the first game in the franchise in relation to this. But I think if they sort of melded the first and the second into a third game, I think we could get a really good a threequel out of that one.
Yeah, nice. For me, the Rage, did Rage and Rage 2 both come out at the end of a console generation? I never got into either of them. They just never popped up at an appropriate time. I feel like it came out in the last gen after I'd already moved on or something. Does that ring true to anyone? I'm going off a very bad memory over here.
I think they were both sort of late cycle, so with a year or two to go on the console lifespan before you hit the next generation. So they were probably a little bit late. And just given that, I agree with you, Steve, that the graphical fidelity and the frame rate and stuff probably wasn't as good as it should have been, given it was so late in the console lifecycle.
Yeah, which is strange. I think the first Rage actually looked good for its time when it came out. It was sort of, it was built as made by the Doom and stuff guys back in the day, and then that looked quite good. But then when you came in number 2, you expected it to kind of have that fidelity, and it just didn't. It just kind of detracted from the gameplay itself, which was actually really good. And I think they went with a more open world scale as well, which probably was to its detriment, whereas I think the first one, it had open world sort of hub areas, but it wasn't fully open world, whereas Rage 2 was. So maybe that was a reason for its downfall in its graphical fidelity. But no, it was a fun game. It probably didn't hit the heights that it probably should have.
If I were going to go back and try and play one of them, would 1 or 2 be the better one, do you think?
I reckon go play 1.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
I'd say go 2.
Oh, no, you're right. 2, gameplay wise, 2 is actually really fun. I would just really hope they would give us an update or a patch, which I've gone back not that long ago, and it still didn't run as well as I wanted it to. But yeah, you're right. 2 probably is a better game.
It's 2 in Game Pass. I'm pretty sure 1 is, but I'm not sure if 2 is. Surely it is. Regardless.
I'm not sure.
If it's there, I'll give it a crack soon. Then we have, next on the ticket is Prey. That's right, Prey.
And Prey, I wasn't sure. I initially had Prey because I wasn't sure. I don't think the initial Prey or the original Prey came out as I don't think that was a Bethesda game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not sure on that one.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think this was a reimagining of the first Prey, and I know there was an iteration of this game that was supposed to come out before this version of the game came out.
Right.
And now, especially with backwards compat and its upgrade on the Series X, I know it now runs in 60 frames, 4K. It looks incredible, and this game was awesome. This was, I think, the guys at Bethesda firing on all cylinders. These are the guys I'm pretty sure that are developing what's our vampire game coming out soon?
Redfall.
Yep. These are the same guys. So, which gives me a lot of hope in terms of the storytelling and stuff within a multiplayer game or focused game, because Prey, I think, has got a great story. I think it does storytelling really well. I think they did one of the best DLCs, which I think was called Moonfall or something similar to that, where it was like not procedure generated. It was a game where you'd work your way through it. If you died, you went back to the start. Roguelite, is what I'm looking for. It had like a roguelite version of that. It's done really well, and it was one of the better versions of that. I think their storytelling, even with that, was done really well. So this was, easily a surprise to me. I would love to see a Prey 2, because this had some great gameplay mechanics, great storytelling, and I just think it would really suit a sequel.
And sorry, just looking at the footage there, I'm reminded that I went and checked out Prey for the first time. It was only a couple of months ago. It was a quest on the Xbox Game Pass. You know, the monthly quest was, I think you had to commit suicide on the helicopter blades, like at the end of level 1, if that makes sense, 21.
Yep.
And I went and did that for the trophy, but then immediately the start, I can't even remember what it was, but the start of level 2, whatever happens immediately after that, gave me such a jump scare. It was in the middle of the day, and it still gave me like a horrid jump scare, and I immediately uninstalled it and went, not for me.
Troy just noped out, just like your camera's done. Troy, just FYI.
I just fixed it, mate. I just fixed it, but thank you very much for looking out for me. How about you, Billy? Did you get your hands on Prey at any stage?
I reckon I played the demo of it that came out on the PS Store, but never got around to playing the full game itself. Although I know from all I've read and heard, very high praise indeed for it. Just never got back to it.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a scary one, Billy. So, you know, put it in next time you got a daytime free, I reckon, for that one. All right, final one on the list. Steve, I've lost my tab. Can you intro it while I look for it, please?
We have Deathloop, Troy, your favourite Bethesda game on the list.
Death Nag Loop. And here's the footage from it. Yeah, that checks out.
There we go. Just take a while just to check out that footage.
Yep, that's it, all right. You saw it. Deathloop. That's one big pile of shit. All right, guys, who wins it this evening? My nomination. Why is that one gone to Uncharted? My nomination was going to be for the Fallout franchise myself.
Oh, gosh, I'm torn because I love Evil Within so much, but I can understand the whole Fallout thing with Fallout 3 and 4 being some of my favourite games of all time. And if we have to link it in together, let's link it together. So it has to be your favourite, and it also has to be the game that you would most like to see another one in the series of.
That's I reckon. Yes, that's the key, I reckon.
I'm going to go. Yeah, so I'm probably going to go with Fallout because, again, I'll really have to see it even within 3, but I know what you guys are going to pick, so let's go with Fallout.
Bully, how do you feel about Fallout winning the standoff this week, mate?
Oh, very happy with that. And just the slight rung below that would be another Elder Scrolls game.
Oh, yes, that would be good. But Fallout wins it. That's right. Fallout, a winner is you. Now I need to hit this button, and then I need to apologise to everyone and say that I completely jumped our final news story of this evening. So I don't have a news bumper, but here's a late-breaking news story, and I just want to let everyone know Sony has very politely given us a gift over the E3 week. Now, if you have a look on screen there, you'll see the very common 210 to 250 gigabytes of other space taken up on the incredibly small PlayStation 5 hard drive. The SSD, that space is super important and super expensive, and they were constantly taking up over 200 of it. Yet, the firmware patch they deployed over the last couple of weeks, I'm happy to say, has brought it down to just over 40 gigabytes. That's right. The gift from Sony that they haven't told anyone about for some crazy reasons about an extra 160 gigs on your hard drives, boys. Have you seen it? And have you been installing some extra games?
I haven't seen it, but now that you say it, I have been able to get much more games on my console than recently thought because I've got tons on there at the moment. I've still got some more space, so that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so Sony, thank you. If I had some sort of non-demerit point system, I don't know, you'd be getting big props from me. 2 big thumbs up, freeing up 160, 170 gigs. I love it. Bully, have you noticed it, mate?
Oh, I have noticed that it hasn't stopped the continual rotation of install, delete.
Yes.
Very good. All right, sorry. So that was some late-breaking news, and now I need to find some more buttons. Steve, tell me things. Where are we headed?
We are heading to audience interrogation, my friend.
Oh, very good. I've got a button somewhere, but I can't find it. So go, Steve. What have they been letting us know about in that their YouTube chat, my friend?
In the YouTube chat, we've got Matt Cypress. He's usually in here after the fact, so it's nice to see him in here tonight.
I think it's probably because we've run 6 hours long.
Yeah, and Bully's, he's nodding off it was as we speak. But, so Matty Cybers, he's looking forward to the mediocrity that will be Modern Warfare 2. I don't know about mediocrity. I think it's going to be quite a good time. I think Modern Warfare 1 was such a good remake of the initial game. I think number 2 is going to be the same.
I am very excited for Modern Warfare 2, but as we know, I believe Matt Cypress, one of these big intros for the channel was the outrage over the single-player campaign from Call of Duty no longer being included on the physical disc. What the hell's going on there? So I understand your history with the franchise, Matt, and fair call, buddy.
And he also says, in the past, Call of Duty has attempted to make a game in third person, but every time they ban it, I take first person over third any day of the week. For me, Call of Duty, yes, I do take that first person over third person, but I don't know. For me, I do prefer a third person action adventure game over a first person game any day if I have to choose, just like my Resident Evil. I will take that third person over first person if I had the choice.
I can't pick between my children of first person versus third person. I love them both dearly. They hold separate places in my heart, but I hold them both equally. What about you, Billy? Do you lean one way or the other, first or third person shooters?
It's funny. It goes through waves. I think in my younger years it was first person, and in the last probably 5 or 6 years, I'm leaning heavily towards third person.
Fair enough, man. That's great. Steve, any other news there while I try and work out whether I had anything from Discord to bring up?
But there was one more, but I'll just say for first-person stuff, just recently with my VR experience on the Oculus, the first-person stuff through there just does kind of kill first-person games for me on the TV, just because it is so more immersive playing that first-person experience, holding the gun in your hand or holding the cricket bat in your hand and hitting those runs. So again, that first-person experience for me now is seemingly more solely VR experience that I enjoy. But third person for me all the way. Otherwise, we have a newcomer to the chat, being Stu Wilson, one of my mates from the Malvern Police Station. He's jumped in. I know he's a massive Microsoft Flight Simulator fan, so he's jumped in and said Microsoft Flight Simulator is the bomb, though, in terms of the game itself. I mean, we were shitting on it before because it took up ridiculous amount of hard drive space.
Yes.
Yeah, but I know he's played it. I think he's played it in VR as well, where he actually do play inside the actual PC, on the PC in the VR, and actually you're inside the aircraft and stuff, because I can see that being an absolutely incredible experience. So, yes, the Flight Simulator, I agree with you, is the bomb if you've got the ability to do so in VR.
Oh, indeed. And sorry, Steve, you've just prompted me on. I know we're going long. Sorry, Billy. But real quickly, Fallout 4 versus Skyrim in VR. I've got to say Fallout 4 is a way better VR experience, Steve. If you're ever going to get one, get the Fallout one, not the Skyrim one. They're both fun, but that Fallout one, I don't know if you remember that big endgame gun that's in the house at the start that's like behind the lockpicking 100. You're not meant to get it for ages. In VR, you can just lean your head inside the cabinet, grab the gun, put it in your inventory, then lean back out and have it for the whole game. So that's a lot of fun as well.
Oh, I love it again. Thanks, Bethesda and your bugs.
That's fantastic. That will do it for another week here on the Gaming Enforcement Agency. And it has been one epic week, boys. I can tell you one thing for sure.
Steve off duty, Bully, good night.
And I am off duty and back on duty in about 5 hours.
Good luck with that.
Thank you, everybody. Keep an eye on the channel. Bunch of Let's Installs coming. Let's Play tomorrow morning. Bully, are you going to be available for the Let's Play tomorrow at 10 a.m.-ish?
I'll go with no.
How about you, Unky Dunky? Can I get a taking from you, sir?
You probably can, actually.
Very good. All right, guys. See you back here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.-ish for a Let's Play with me and Steve. What are we playing? Who knows? Dial in tomorrow and check it out. What else can you do with Geek Aloud, Unky Dunky?
You can like it, subscribe it. You'll never miss it.
Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's something. I love everything about it. Ooh.
Players play.
Old Uncle Donkey.
Donkey.